big snake in the plains! That's the sea troll!
Oh, look, over there. They've named the treats already.
Well, that's the thing. I have this condition.
I'm afraid of a little meat.
Remember
Come on,
me?
give me a shot, will you?
Say like the whispers in your ear.
Not the weed! The snake!
You just go along thinking some things don't change. It don't have to be me.
Give up hell, Indiana Jones!
No matter where you go, there you are.
What's poppin'? Kernels, Corndogs. We have made it. It's the end of the year, end of 2024. Welcome. You have pre-gamed with us. Raise a glass. Nick is sipping on his corn dog juice, probably the leftover boiled water from making those damn good hot dogs. And I am sipping on literally just pure butter to butter my corn because we are about to pop off like some popcorn. If you didn't know by now, after the end of year 2, we're very corn themed because we love going to the movies. We're concession stand kids. We are Captain Pop. We are the corn dog. This is Just Play It. And this is the official rap party. I am your host. I'm Jimmy Crack Corn, maestro of the microwave. I'm James, and I'm here with my best friend, my numero uno amigo, just an all-around guy's guy, solid dude. He's a dog on a stick, and he is my favorite dog to be barking at this microphone with because it is Nick, creamy, crusty, deep fried, and live. Justice, welcome in. Thank you for being here.
Oh, I wouldn't miss this, buddy. This is, the title of the episode says it all. This is Rap Party Part 2, the rappier partier half of the episode. And I'm so excited. We have awards to get into. We have brackets. We have everything that we've done this year is culminating in this episode. And I'm just so damn excited for it. This is something we look forward to. You know, all the time we're saying, hey, I can't wait to cover that again in the rap party. Oh, hey, I can't wait to bring that up in the rap party. Oh, hey, this would be great. And it's finally here. It feels like it happened so fast, too.
Yeah, it's crazy how fast it just creeps up on you. But this is the rap party 2024, the main event. So last episode was the pregame, which very well could have been the main event. I feel like we really just never left the house on the pregame and just never made it out to the main party, the soiree, the ball. We just got stuck on the couch arguing about best weapons and fighters and pieces of shit. It was just quizzes. It was a good time. If you haven't listened to that episode, what the hell are you doing here? You're welcome here.
Go back and listen.
Go back and listen. It was a good one. But now it is time for the marquee event. You said it, Nick. We are going to go through our awards. We're going to get through our Tournament of Champions brackets. And we're going to finish off this episode with the wheel of franchises to see what is our fate for 2025. And Nick, I think there's just nothing left to do, but just to get into it, we got a lot to cover here. So let's just go straight into our awards. So at the end of each movie review episode, we have mini pops. These are the major pops. Welcome to the big leagues, pal. This is Major Poppies and Major Cornys. Goods, bads. And we're going to actually start out with our fans, the fan polls. So on our socials, if you're not following us, we're on at Just Play It Podcast on Instagram and YouTube and at Just Play It Pod on X. But we had some polls go out. And Nick, what were our categories for those polls?
Oh, putting me on the spot here. But our categories were some simple things. We had some best movie soundtracks. We had most our biggest hunk on the big screen. We had our most attractive male character. Yeah. We had our most attractive female character up there on the silver screen, those foxes, as you will. We had best movie poster as created by you, James, for our thumbnails on our socials.
My bad Photoshop. Going to work, finally doing something. But Nick, let's start out with the fan polls for favorite OST, original soundtrack. This is kind of more in line with those 2000s, 90s movies when compiling a sick mixtape, aka your soundtrack, was, like you said, a big deal. So our nominees were New Jack City, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, Four Brothers, and 2003's Daredevil. Nick, coming in, barely getting the majority vote at 43%. The fans voted for Daredevil 2003.
Wow.
What were you hoping for?
I'm not going to lie. I took the poll as well because I'm a fan of our work. And I was hoping for New Jack City. That New Jack Swing soundtrack was really well done. But hey, I can't argue with a little Evanescence in my life. So Daredevil, deserved winner.
On our socials, I did include the most popular song from each of the soundtracks. And when that one hit, I think it just tickled a lot of our age group's fancies. But
yeah.
I did vote, and undisputed, I believe Four Brothers is still one of the best soundtracks ever made for a movie. It's got Marvin Gaye, you got Temptations on there. It's a good one. Jefferson Airplane, it's fantastic. And there's a lot of Marvin Gaye on there. I'm a big Marvin Gaye guy, but 29% for Four Brothers, and Sisterhood, The Traveling Pants, and New Jack City tied for 14% of the votes. Nick, you mentioned Hollywood hotties. So now we're going to get into what the fans thought our Hollywood hunks were about and who was the hottest. And we're going to start out with Hollywood hunks. So our nominees were Franchise Man with the Plan of the Year, Indiana Jones. Speaking of New Jack City, we did have Nino Brown up there. He was a crazy psycho, but he was still pretty hot. Coming up next, the original Zaddy of Jeff Goldblum playing New Jersey from The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension. And finally, we had Eric, the soccer coach from Sisterhood, The Traveling Pants, because he was considered very hot for 2005. And the winner is, as voted by the fans, with a 63% vote, it is Mr. Jones and me. Indiana Jones is our Hollywood hunk of 2024. Nick, you look kind of disappointed.
I mean, New Jersey, I was pulling hard for New Jersey.
Yeah. So. New Jersey's going to get a quarter of the votes. Nino Brown is getting 13%. Eric, the soccer coach, 0. Goose egg. No votes for Eric.
There's still hope in this world.
We learned. I did vote for Indiana Jones. But
can't go wrong.
I feel no. 80s Harrison Ford, Hollywood hunk of 2024, which is going to transition into the silver screen smoke show. Our nominees were Susie Song from Smoke Signals, Jill Metzner from Jack Frost, Debbie Stone from Killer Clowns from Outer Space, and Elektra from Elektra. With a solid 62%, the silver screen smoke show Just Play It 2024 Lady Babe of the Year is Elektra.
I knew it was coming.
Frank, you know what? It's really hard to pass up Jennifer Garner in a superhero outfit. So
yeah, I get it.
05 Jennifer Garner is the silver screen smoke show of 2024.
And she's the most recognizable face on that panel. But my girl Susie Song got snubbed because
love Susie Song.
I love me some Susie
Irene
Song.
Bedard. Yeah, she was her character was great and she was hot. So she's bringing in 25% of the votes. Jill Metzner is bringing in 13%. So she's our Nino Brown. And Debbie Stone, unfortunately, 0 votes. I think, you know what it was? It was really hard to find a picture of her from Killer Clowns that was in good lighting or just a good photogenic picture of her. Because she looked a little dopey in our poll, if you saw it. But, yeah, unfortunately, my girl, Suzanne Snyder, is 0.
What you going to do?
And our last fan poll is Best Poster with the bad Photoshop created by myself. And our nominees were Memento, very creative, very simple and effective. The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai Across the Eighth Dimension, just a good poster to start with. So just throwing our faces on there makes it slightly worse. It Follows, not a lot to work with, but we kind of made a little creative incision of the JPI boys in there. Very ghostly. And finally, a very recent one, Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Nick, the winner, as voted by the fans, with a convincing 86%, is Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
It was a heavy hitter. It came in as a favorite.
What? My favorite was, I voted for Buckaroo Banzai. I'm the only vote for Buckaroo Banzai. And
I came in with Plane, Trains, Automobiles for the simple fact, James, if you haven't seen it, everybody, go look at the socials, look at the poster. Here's the deal. It looks like us, James, sitting on a bench.
So, yeah, and I feel like it does really get our energy up because last time during the pregame, I kind of dragged you along a 4-hour recording, and you were my Neil to my Dell, and I was just like probably driving you nuts. But it's funny. I could just throw our faces on top of other actors' faces, and then that's what wins. You know, it follows. I was like, oh, I'll put our faces huge, and we'll be like opaque and transparent, like a ghost. And then Memento, it was like it had the Polaroids. I was like, oh, that's a easy concept, and I could just kind of easily throw us in there. But nah, man, just a good old face swap of Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yeah, it wasn't the most creative, but it captured us the best. And I think that's what the audience liked.
That's what the fans love. Fans love us. Sometimes. All right, Nick. Well, fan polls are done. Let's get into the main awards, the big Poppys and the big Cornys. We're just going to hit you with our selections, and we're going to start out with the best and the most offensive scene that we saw in all of 2024. Nick, our best scene that we saw didn't come from a DVD, didn't come from a VHS or an at-home rental. It came in the theaters because our one in-theaters watch of the year, Furiosa, a Mad Max saga, the Octoboss versus the War Rig, was the best scene of 2024 that we've ever seen.
It was big. It had the budget. It was done well. It had the action, the suspense. It's hard to beat. I think it's an easy one.
Easy one. And that's the one that took 75, 78 days to film. So at least you got the Poppy for the best scene from Just Play.
Worth it.
So George Miller, we're a fan. Nick, when there's highs, there's lows. Please hit me with our most offensive scene of 2024.
Let's sink down to the depths here. So our most offensive scene of 2024, if you've listened to this podcast this year, you might know what it is, but this is the batting cage scene from Bullet, where they discuss what does and does not make you gay. James, it was a hard scene.
It was
not only was it wildly out of place for the movie, it was just so wrong on so many levels.
It was wildly out of place, and it was just wildly incorrect. It was, you probably had the most opportunity to be the most real in that scene, in that movie. We're not in space. We're not superheroes. We're not doing anything crazy in this movie. This is probably one of the most grounded movies that we could watch this year. And the entire movie fell flat, and that scene is so out of place. It is so offensive, and that's why it takes home the Corny for most offensive scene of 2024.
It was an easy one. We talked about it, and this was the first one that came to mind.
Just heads up, if you're raised by your grandma, you might turn gay, according to Bullet.
And hey, you don't have to suck dick
to be a
gay. Life lessons we learned from Bullet.
Ugh.
All right, James, let's climb back up on that roller coaster. Let's hit our highs again. And we're going to go for our best title of the year. So, James, our best title. Now, this doesn't mean the title was connected to the movie. Our thought process here was, if you saw this title on a marquee and you had no idea about this movie, what would draw you in and force you to pay that $15 to sit down and watch this movie? And what we decided, and I think we said this in the episode as well, that the best title, a great title for 2024 movie watching, was Black Moon Rising.
Sick title. I want to watch
Great
it.
Title.
The title got me to watch it. Poster got me to watch it. The fun fact that it was apparently the prequel to The Wraith, got me to watch it, and it was awful, but the title was sick.
But the title was good.
And Nick, when there's highs, there's lows. When there's corns popping off, there's some corny, cheesy garbage out there in the trash at the movie theater. Because now I'm going to hit you with the worst title. And you and I agreed that Leonard Part 6 was the worst title of 2024.
It brings nothing to the table.
It brings nothing to the table, and it starts out with a question because this is a standalone movie, and you're thinking, where are the other 5 parts? And they explain it in the movie, and it's such a dumb, it's like a throwaway dumb joke. It's really, really bad.
It's a bad name. Leonard, sorry if there's Leonards out there listening. It's not a good name for a movie character. Again, the part 6, I'd be confused. Like if I turned on my TV, I'd say, I can't get into this. I can't get into this movie right now. I haven't seen 1 through 3.
I think when I threw it on the schedule and I said, hey, this is going to be our 40-40 offender of the year, you said, wow, this title just makes me not even want to watch it. Like even the title's bad. So from the get-go, we knew what it was. It had no chance. It had no chance.
There's no chance.
What does have a chance is going to be our Poppy for the best visual effects, CGI, practical, special effects, puppetry. We reviewed them all, and Nick, we were just straight up blown away with how great this movie held up, and honestly, how hard it is to do to this day, because the technology and the compositing, the green screen, the blue screen, the swinging cameras of Frank Oz's The Indian in the Cupboard is unmatched. It was super impressive, and it takes our Poppy for the best visual effects, and I think well deserved.
I think miniatures, like you said, are hard to do. The scaling of the miniatures when they're standing next to real people in real settings. There were a few really cool scenes where they had Little Bear and Boo-Hoo Boone sitting in front of a TV where the TV's real size, they're small size. Like, just really impressive. We called it out in the episode, and when this category came up, we looked at each other and said, I think that still is the most impressive. Considering the budget and the time that it was made, I think that was the best effects we've seen. Absolutely.
And despite the year, I think it still looks really, really good. And I remember when we were talking about it, there's a swinging shot when it comes around the dresser. And I remember that they had to mathematically figure it out of, hey, we're going to do this Little Bear longhouse scene and the camera's going to be hundreds of feet away and we're going to swing in and we're going to calculate that and take the same exact movements except scale it down to a room, and instead of swinging in on a 6-foot guy on a house, now it's supposed to be a 3-inch guy on a 1.5 or a foot tall house, and we need to scale it down to the real life world size. So super impressive. Takes home the Poppy for best visual effects.
Yes, sir. And where there's something good, like a nice, warm, fresh out of the fryer corn dog, at some point you're going to bite down on that corn dog and you're just going to bite the stick. And that's the worst. You know what else is the worst, James? The worst visual effects. And you know what's awful about these visual effects? They also have a shitty title involved. It's a Leonard Part 6 for our worst CGI and visual effects. So not only was it a bad title, if you remember, it was a bad movie. And part of what made it a bad movie were the cheesy and awful effects. We had the heads exploding, which were just styrofoam heads. Anytime we saw animals involved, the piranha fish, the sawdust, it was just all around a mess. So no surprise here, but Leonard Part 6 gets our worst CGI and visual effects, and it's well-deserved. It's well-deserved.
Yeah, what that movie taught me is if your head explodes, then you might be made of sawdust. Also, Glizzy's glitter when they're held by Bill Cosby with his tongue out.
Glitter effects.
Yeah, just the random just glitter. Yeah. It was just a mess. Oh my gosh.
Oh, top to bottom.
And you know what else is a mess? This movie I'm about to bring up, because the next award, the corny, the bad award, is going to be for the worst director. We don't have a best director. We just like to be negative and put people down when they do a bad job. But this is a gentleman that we love. We love his stuff. We love his stuff nowadays. the sequel to this movie. But unfortunately, Nick, the corny goes to our guy, Sam Raimi, for the Evil Dead OG. One, we weren't super impressed with the movie itself. And two, the working conditions and what he asked of his friends. Here's the thing. When you're a real director and you're working with real stranger actors, there's contracts and there's safety and there's just expectations. But since it was Sam Raimi and all of his high school friends, he just knew he could drag them all through the mud. Ellen Sandwise is running through the forest. She's getting scarred up from running with like no pants on. The tree scene, the grape scene that we were not a fan of, that could have also been up there for worst scene. But Bullet is just a low that took that cake home. But he kind of gaslit Ellen Sandwise and said, "Oh, no one's going to see this. We're going to pump in a bunch of fog. We're not going to do this." And then they did the little branch up the hoo-ha in post-production. So he lied to his friend, which kind of makes you a little bit of a dirtbag, Sam Raimi. I think you're our worst director of 2024.
It feels okay to say that, knowing that he's gotten so much better and has been successful. So that's great. Sam but Raimi. Yeah, original Evil Dead. Sorry, Sam. We said it. It felt like a college project that was trying too hard. And glad you fixed it for Evil Dead 2 and leaned into how ridiculous it was. But Evil Dead 1, we just ain't got it. It ain't it, pal.
We're going to transition into what we always do at the end of each episode, which is those mini pops. And these are awards that we hand out weekly. We hand out on every single episode. So now we have our top 4 nominees. We have coming up is Best Yeet and our MVC. You're no stranger to these categories if you're a fan of the pod. Nick, what are the nominees and the winner for 2024 is Best Yeet in a movie?
James, for our Best Yeets from a movie from 2024, we're going to start out with The Baby Yeet from Smoke Signals. The yeeting the baby out of the window, the opening scene. At the time, we thought it got thrown out of the glass. The glass was cracked and broken before the baby got yeeted out, but it was still a hell of a yeet and a great catch by Arnold.
It kind of fumbled it.
Yeah, and then in number 2 for our nominations, we have the Lion Oz yeet from our Wizard of Oz. If you recall, the lion, when was it in the castle's collapsing? And he just
when the cowardly lion is he gets they get the quest from the wizard, and then he kind of says go now, and then he like runs out of the room scared, and he just yeets out of the window.
It's a good yeet. It's a yeet. It's an instinctual yeet.
Self yeet,
which is you just got to yeet yourself out of a window when you're scared. Our third nominee here, James, is the Crystal Skull fridge yeet from our opening scene of Indiana Jones: Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. When the nuclear bomb explodes, Indy doesn't know what to do, so he shoves himself in a fridge and gets yeeted, I don't know, half a mile, I'd venture to say, in this fridge. Comes out unscathed, but that fridge did, in fact, get yeeted. Probably our longest and most violent yeet on this list. And our fourth and final yeet is the cat yeet from Minutemen. As we were going ahead and trying to figure out if our time machine worked in that movie, we decided we were going to experiment with a cat. And how do you get a cat into and out of a time machine, James?
You yeet it.
So we have our baby yeet from Smoke Signals, our lion yeet from Wizard of Oz, our Kingdom of the Crystal Skull yeet, and our cat yeet from Minutemen. And winner of the best yeet for 2024 is Indiana Jones in the Fridge from Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. It was the longest yeet. It was the most violent yeet. The best yeets are the yeets where you don't think that the yeeted survives.
And there's a lot of peril in those yeets. The baby could have definitely bit the dust. Lion just blindly jumped out of a window. He didn't know how tall that castle was. And the cat could have been spaghettied from the time vortex. But Indiana Jones, the hunkiest man of 2024, is also going to be involved, looking super cool in a fridge. That's a pun, because that's our best yeet. And Nick, finishing off our Poppies and Cornys is a very prestigious award. It is the MVC, our most valuable character. And the nominees are Nino Brown from New Jack City, Short Round from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Henry Jones Sr. from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, and finally, Del Griffith from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. Short Round, I thought he made the worst Indiana Jones movie a standout. He was the best part of it, a huge highlight. Nino Brown, big old psychopath, sexy piece of shit, but man, was he a character that's just super memorable. And when you think of New Jack City, you think of Nino Brown. You quote Nino Brown. And the performance by Wesley Snipes really upped the ante. Speaking of Sean Connery, Henry Jones Sr. just added that extra layer of depth that we thought Indiana Jones just totally benefited from in our favorite Indiana Jones movie of the entire franchise, for our franchise of the year. And lastly, the heart-wrenching performance from John Candy as Del Griffith in Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, the heart and soul of that movie. And the winner is, for the 2024 MVC, Del Griffith from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. John Candy, you killed it. You made that movie what it was. And there was a lot of helping hands involved. John Hughes writing, Steve Martin going to work on the comedic bits. But my goodness, John Candy's performance and the importance of Del and how that movie literally just doesn't exist without the goofy guy with the big trunk messing things up. Del Griffith, everybody, is our most valuable character of 2024.
Iconic character. Couldn't imagine it played by anybody else other than John Candy. Really made it his own. Made it one of those movies that, Del Griffith is still a person in pop culture, right? Everyone knows who Del Griffith is. So hats off to Del. What a great movie and a wonderful character in that movie.
Amen. And that is the Poppies and the Cornys. Nick, we are not slowing down. We are all gas, no brake pads, because now it's time to get into our tourneys. And this is going to be the fun part. So we're going to start out with another prestigious award, I guess you can say. And that's going to be the biggest piece of shit of 2024 for fictional characters. Nick, let's just not even beat around the bush. We said all our nominees in the last episode in the pregame, so you know who we're working with here. Well, let's see. What division you want to start out with?
Let's start out with the cowards, and then we'll ramp our way up.
Because we all know the psycho asshole divisions are the
heavy hitters. James, let's start off with the cowards here. So we're going to start off with our number 1 seed, Fowler, and our number 8 seed, Lando Calrissian.
Okay, this is going to be a prototypical 1 beats 8 for me. Fowler, Agent Fowler, Detective Fowler, whatever he was a corrupt cop, killed his partner, and was a very convincing douchebag, all in the process. Kind of an asshole too. So he is a little bit of a double agent in our divisions, but just when you backstab and you're playing both sides and you're looking out for yourself, that's big coward energy. Fowler is who I'm having move on.
Yeah, no question from me. We know Lando, he's a bit of a coward, but he wasn't quite as cunning and shitty as Fowler was. So it's a blowout from Fowler, round 1, no questions asked.
All right, Nick. Well, let's move down to the number 2 seed. So we have Arnold from Smoke Signals, the one who did kind of catch Thomas the baby out of that burning house. The best thing he did in that entire movie, but it was followed by a bunch of just domestic violence, family abandonment, and trying to just get sympathy when he didn't deserve it. And he's going to go up against a measly 7 seed of Derek from Minutemen, another Geet nominee movie. Derek was a douchey high school friend that wanted his quote unquote best friend to use the time machine to stop him from getting caught from cheating on his girlfriend. And he was just a little bit of a dipshit. What do we think here? Arnold, Derek. Derek was a little bit of a sociopath too, so he was also double dipping.
I think Derek's a Derek's an interesting character. You don't want to sleep on the 7 seed because, like you said, he was extremely manipulative. He was extremely psychotic. He didn't want to stop from cheating. He wanted to stop getting caught. He lied to his best friend for a long time about being the one who really rallied the troops to
and the bully.
Give him PTSD basically throughout his whole high school experience. So, that's big. You cannot sleep on Derek. However, Arnold is he never learned his lesson.
This guy.
I still do.
Big problem with Arnold.
I still do. So Arnold, like you said, all the things: domestic violence, abandoned his family. But the worst part was he never learned his lesson. Never apologized. Never had a redemption arc. Derek didn't either, other than saying, stay safe out there before his homies went and saved the day. Gosh, this is a toss-up for me, buddy. I need you to be the tiebreaker because I think both of them are pretty psychotic, gaslighting pieces of shit.
Gonna go Arnold because he's the adult.
Yeah.
He's got to know better.
That's a great point.
And like you said, Derek kind of half-assedly, he half-asses his go get him tiger before they go save the universe. Whereas Arnold just never even made an attempt to contact his son. And he just was a drunk piece of shit that beat his wife and beat his kid and then left and then died.
Dying was the best thing he did. All right, James, going with our 3 seed here in the coward bracket. We're going to start with Carmen's dad from Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. And he is going up against Belloc from Indiana Jones, that backstabbing son of a bitch.
French guy from Raiders of the Lost Ark.
That definitely makes him worse.
Belloc was, he was just kind of doing his thing. I mean, granted, he was working with the Nazis, which is not cool. But, you're a little bit of a badass free agent, just like, I'm just working with these guys so I can get what I want, which is the Ark of the Covenant. And like you speculated in that episode, he may have saw Indiana Jones on that U-boat and decided not to say anything. So it's a little bit of a cool guy move, actually. That's a little X factor that's saving him from being the biggest piece of shit. But it's not going to help him advance in this bracket. However, Carmen's dad, a.k.a. Al, just moving away, not telling his daughter, America Ferrera, that he had a second family and that he is getting married to this white woman from the South. And I'm sorry, the wedding is in 2 months. And, oh, by the way, you're invited. Oh, by the way, I don't know your dress size. Oh, by the way, I'm going to assume you're a certain size and make you feel insecure about your body image. I'm sorry. Carmen's dad is moving on.
It's Al every day of the week.
Al STP.
Sisterhood of the Traveling
transparent
Pants.
Parent. Shitty turd parent.
Shitty turd parent. Yes, Al, sorry, buddy. That's just bad fatherhood right there.
If only you had a fatherhood of the traveling boots, overalls, something.
Yeah, get wrecked.
To steer you on the right path. And now we're going to head on to the middle of this section of the Coward Division. We have a 4 seed Hugh/Jeff from It Follows, who knowingly passed along a STD sex demon to our sweet innocent protagonist. And going up against the 5 seed, we got Mac from Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Kind of same vibe for Belloc. He's just a little bumbly, stumbly, 2-time and backstabber. Just a little bit of a dipshit. Honestly, he got defaulted to the cowards because we just had too many dipshits. So
yeah,
he's not really building a strong case, and especially against someone that knew he could have just gave this sex disease demon to a prostitute, but instead he just infected our sweet Jay.
Yeah, and you kind of set it up there. Sometimes as the 4 seed, you get a softball as your first game in the bracket, and this is one of those scenarios. Hugh/Jeff passing on the demon knowingly, and then telling them and saying, oh, sorry, and then, I'm glad he got, but you can't just die like a man.
And also, we don't know his name. I mean, I think his name is Hugh or I don't know. I forgot. But he
introduces
had a fake
himself
identity.
as Hugh the first time when he sleeps with Jay. And then when he meets him for real, he's like, well, actually, my name's Jeff. So he could have used his real. I don't know why he used.
He had a fake address and like a phony house that it's like.
There's something not right about him.
Coward.
There's something not right about him. Something not right about him.
Piece of shit. Well, Mac, you didn't move on because you're a little bit of a dipshit, and that's exactly where we're going to go next. And Nick, I think I would love to start in the middle and then ramp our way up to that sick 1 seed. So same energy, our 4 seed versus our 5 seed. Pretty underwhelming nominees, but we do have at the 4 seed Dr. Nobi from the Evil Dead franchise, and he's going up against the 5th seed of Zolo from Romancing the Stone. So what's worse here, Nick? A scientist, professor, archaeologist? I don't know what he was, who discovers a demonic Necronomicon that can summon demons and leaves the incantation on an open recording for them to just pop out at any time. Or just again, was Zolo working with the government? Was he like an actual agent and he just goes super rogue? And then when the plan gets foiled, he just breaks down and decides that he needs to murder our main protagonist for no reason, just for sport. Yeah.
The latter part of what you said there is why I'm going with Zolo here. Dr. Nobi, careless, obviously. That's what makes him a dipshit.
Big dipshit move. Dipshit move.
Yeah, he's careless. He just goes ahead and records an incantation that releases a demon. But it wasn't at all malicious. Zolo, like you said, at first, it seems like he's a mercenary doing stuff for the money, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden,
I don't know what his job is still. Was he with the government? I don't know.
When the plan goes awry, he just turns to straight murder. And I think that is, for me, going to move him on in our piece of shit bracket.
Zolo.
He's just going to start feeding people to alligators.
Yeah. And he was like another, good for him. He was kind of like another de facto psycho. We just had too many strong psychos, so he just had to go in the dipshits. And Dr. Nobi pays the price because Zolo's up.
All right, James, sticking in the middle of the dipshit bracket, we're going to go with Pervy Director.
Middle of the dipshits.
From Leonard Part 6. Probably our most hated on movie. Not probably. Definitely our most hated on movie of this year. And he's going up against Tattoo from Elektra, who's not just a piece of shit, but might be a little overpowered as well.
Overpowered he is. An overpowered pervert. OPP, you know me. Because that's what Tattoo's doing. He's got perv cams out. So that's a little bit of he's a little dipshitty, but man, pervy director. So we actually have the two perverts going up against each other. This is perfect. This is perfect.
This is a tough one.
If I may. But nah, man. For me, easy. Pervy director. 60-year-old guy dating an 18-year-old, 20-year-old. Forces his way into the father's house and says, hey, I need to crash here. Makes the daughter do a shirtless or a naked scene for his weird play that nobody likes. Just a quintessential dipshit, in my opinion. And that's why he's moving on for me, personally. What do you feel? How do you feel?
I think you're right. You know, Tattoo, he's just a villain in a movie, albeit a very big piece of shit, but he's very much just a movie villain. And, but man,
we said it.
That pervy director.
His first round exit. His first round exit. There wasn't really any strong cases from Elektra.
Especially when there's a guy abusing his power as a director to get with an 18-year-old. Can't have it. Can't stand for it.
Well, speaking of one of the most hated movies ever, Leonard Part 6, what was very close and not far behind was Mickey Rourke's Bullet, because Mickey Rourke's Bullet is our 2 seed for the dipshits. This is a guy that went to jail for doing heroin, and then he gets out of jail and says, hey, you know what I want to do? Heroin. And you know who I want to involve? My innocent friends. And you know what I want to do? Start fights on the street and stab a guy in the face, in the hand, and pick fights with the old gangbanger gang boss that probably got me into prison. because that's what I do. I'm a loser 38-year-old living in my parents' apartment with my crazy family, and I'm Bullet, bitch. And he's going up against Bar Guy. So this is a guy you named Larry, but this is the biggest ratio guy we have on the bracket by far. Maybe Plains Trans Lawyer, but this guy's screen time. He was in a scene in Black Moon Rising. He's trying to pick up Linda Hamilton, and he said his riz is weak, but he thinks it's strong. And he says, "What would you say if I said I wanted to bring you home and f your brains out?" And Linda Hamilton's like, "Nah," and then walks away. And he looks at Tommy Lee Jones and says, "Women, am I right?" That was just enough for us to say, "You're a big piece of shit, dude, and you deserve to be on the goddamn bracket at the end of the year." So
he does.
What do we think?
But
what do we think here, Nick?
I think you left something out for Bullet, and it is our worst
there's
scene.
So many bad things. Yeah, there's so many.
This is a runaway. This is a bloodbath. This is over at halftime. This is people running in yelling, "Stop the fight! Stop the fight!" Because Bullet is such a strong entry here, and he absolutely rolls Bar Guy in round 1 of the biggest piece of shit bracket.
No question. GG.
Now
easy.
let's see if we're going to get another smackdown in our dipshits division of the biggest piece of shit bracket, because we got a 1 seed versus an 8 seed here. Our 1 seed
tough.
of this division is Willie Scott from Temple of Doom. Not just a piece of shit, just annoying, just hated, just loathed by the fans and this podcast alike, going up against the chubby little bastard known as the Freak. No, sorry. I don't know. I was feeling myself there. Going up against our number 2 seed, that chubby little bastard known as the Creep from BMX Bandits. He's a tattletale. He's trying to harsh everyone's mel. He doesn't know what's going on. He's complaining about shopping carts. He sucks. He just sucks.
He's complaining I don't think he's complaining about shopping carts. I think he arrives to Nicole Kidman plays Judy, and he brags about how he made his parents buy his BMX bike for him and to give it to him before his birthday. Real big little Harry Potter cousin Dursley kid vibes. He just outside showed up to the store and started shit talking Judy, and then Judy just kind of told him off, and then he just shoved the shopping carts. Thing. But he would be the kind of guy to complain about he's a creep, dude. He's just like
he was being weird.
His name is literally the Creep, but my God, Willie Scott, talk about the biggest useless character. I think the most useless character in all of cinema that we've seen for 2024, because she was a big part of why I didn't like Temple of Doom. There's a lot of reasons why I didn't like Temple of Doom, but my God, she did not help.
Oh, she's up on the list of reasons why that is not a good movie. Or it's the worst entry, the originals.
Nick, where do we want to go to next? Assholes or psychos? I'm feeling assholes.
Let's go with the assholes. Yeah.
Who do we have for the 4-5?
James, for the 4-5 here, we have a 4 seed of your boy Teddy.
Joey Pants.
In our 5 seed, we have Dr. Schneider.
Yeah, because she is a Nazi lady, and she's also kind of two-time in backstabbing because she plays Indy, plays Henry Jones Sr., slept with both of them, which is just creepy. A little perverted. She might be number 3 pervert on the bracket, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it. Misleads her boss. I forgot Fool's name, but just the main guy who was heading up the operation for getting the Holy Grail. And then Schmeagles at the end and tries to go for that. However, Teddy, my goodness, talk about someone taking advantage of someone who's got memory problems and he's trying to find his dead wife's killer, and he is just exploiting that. That was an easy nom for biggest piece of shit of Memento. So I'm leaning Teddy, personally.
Yeah, I think it's Teddy. And it doesn't help that he just looks and acts slimy all the time.
Mm-hmm. It's mustache. Yeah.
Yeah, just nothing he's doing is really working in his favor for not being considered a giant piece of shit.
It's a tough look. Just like looking like you got green skin and a big ass nose, because the 3 seed for assholes, it's the Wicked Witch from The Wizard of Oz slash Miss Gulch, because they're kind of connected, a little bit of psyche stuff going on. So Miss Gulch, real life IRL persona, wanted to kill Toto and seize land. It's just like, that's just big piece of shit moves. And then you go into Fantasyland, Wizard of Oz. She's throwing fireballs at Scarecrow. She's sending out flying monkeys at our heroes, trying to just kidnap them and then just like cause chaos. So Wicked Witch, easy asshole, top 3 for sure. And she's going to be going up against the 6 seed of Patrick from the Indian of the Cupboard, who was a whiny little bitch boy and wanted to enslave trapped souls via this witchcraft cupboard. And Nick, honestly, I'm thinking this one is like, don't sleep on the 6 for me, because Patrick was a power hungry little playing god monster bitch, and he won.
Yeah, James, I think this might be our first considered a major upset of this bracket, dude, for me, because Patrick did want to play God, and when he couldn't get his way, he lied, sold his friend out to try remain
was
that
willing to like ruin the entire situation by showing it off to the teacher and like blowing up the whole movie.
Yeah, and even after Omri explained to him that these are real people with real lives, he did not care. He still was okay to ruin their lives and hurt people. So for me, you know, thank goodness Patrick is a child, because if he was an adult, I think this is a horror movie.
And he's moving on.
He is a little asshole, and he upsets the Wicked Witch. Wow. Well, let's see if we can get another upset going here, because we're going to have our 2 seed versus our 7 seed of the asshole bracket. Our 2 seed here is Bullseye from Daredevil. Very lethal, obviously. Big, you know, he gets offended easily. He's not just a killer for hire. He's in a bar. He gets offended in the bar, and he just takes some paper clips and sticks it in the barkeep's throat. I mean, that's some pretty, some pretty vicious move, dude.
Again, and worries me about the Psycho bracket, because he was right in there, and he just he's a 2 seed in the assholes, and he got de facto to assholes.
He's going up against Return to Oz villain Mombi.
Another Oz. Oh,
yeah. Now Mombi was insane and an asshole. She was stealing heads. She was stealing people's heads. I think she created Jack. She also had this magic powder that she was bringing people to life, messing with their lives. Again, had severed heads so she could put them on and use them. Very vain, very evil. Was going to do the same thing.
Wanted to kidnap Dorothy and farm her so that she can grow into an adult head, and then cut her head off and then put it in her head locker closet. Just to wear it around for
farming
sport.
Heads. Yeah.
Again,
so that's vicious.
This is another Psycho that got deferred to the assholes because our Psycho bracket is so strong, but
stacked.
Regardless, Bullseye, the cockiness alone just carries his asshole status for me. And he's so bad. He's likable, but I think he's a bigger asshole than Princess Mombi.
Yeah. He's one of those guys where even if he wasn't hired as a mercenary, he'd just be out murdering people for the fun of it. All right, James.
Number 1, number 8, Nick. At number 1, we have Jumbo the Clown from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Just, again, could have been a psycho, but we're throwing him an asshole because he just went against the entire alien race's plan of scooping up bodies, trying to get a food source, whatever they were trying to do. He was not about it. He was out there doing artisanal murders of humans, making everything personal, wanted to smash a little girl with a mallet. Luckily, we never got to that part because her mom called her back. But Jumbo the Clown, super strong 1 seed in the asshole bracket. Poor 8 seed of Lawyer from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. This is a guy who, again, another ratio guy who wanted to extort Steve Martin for a taxi cab in New York at rush hour and just kind of upcharge him to give him the cab just because he could. So big power trip moves, but My God, Nick, if there was a buzzsaw of the assholes, it's Big Jumbo. Jumbo
It's not
lawyer.
even close.
Lawyer's an asshole, but that was an asshole moment. Jumbo, his whole life, his personality is just asshole.
Yeah, it wasn't even just wanting to smash the little girl. It was going to be luring her out of the pizza place. His actions in the police station were very personal. He could have just killed people. He decided it was time to mess with people. He's dangerous. And the rest of that bracket, the rest of that division better watch its back because Jumbo the Clown's out here.
And that leaves our last division, Nick. Now we're going to jump over. We're going to start in the middle. At the 4 seed for the Psycho Sociopath bracket, we have the truck driver from Duel, who picks motorists at random to murder them because he doesn't like the way they drive. He's going to go up against another murderer of Jack Frost, the mutant snowman. Nick, this division's going to be tough. This division is going to be tough. And these two, this is our middle mid guys. Oh man. Okay. So truck driver, he's a human. He has human restraints, but still he goes for it. Whereas Jack Frost, this killer snowman, he has super overpowered abilities, and that allows him to carry out his psycho deeds way easier. So for me, I'm kind of leaning on truck driver unless you have a strong case for Jack Frost.
So truck driver also he messes with people. If we recall, he taunts. There's a lot of taunting. Yeah. Now, Jack Frost does too. Jack Frost is taunting the sheriff a lot. He is finding creative ways to murder people. It's a sport to him. It's very fun. It's a sport to both of these contenders. Man, if this is our mid matchups, this is going to be a tough bracket to deal with. But I think I'll have to go with truck driver with you just because of how it's a game to him. It's so playful. This is just what he does. There's no remorse.
It's creepy. Yeah. I mean, Jack Frost, the movie, was very campy and kind of out there, but this could actually happen. And I think the Duel truck driver, surprisingly, is going to beat out a mutant snowman who sexually assaulted one of our smoke show noms with a carrot.
You hate to see it. All right, James, stick it in the meat of the psycho/sociopath division.
Oh, here we go.
Our number 6 seed. We have Dr. Lizardo from Buckaroo Banzai. Maybe wasn't quite as insane before he got sucked into the 8th dimension and saw the light. But even beforehand, he disregarded safety regulations. He is mad for power. And once he has a taste of that power, it cannot be quenched. He wants to murder. He wants to take over planets. He wants to take over dimensions. And he doesn't care what it's going to take to get that. He is going up against the number 3 seed, James, who I find to be quite a juggernaut, even though he's at a 3 seed. And this is Yancey from Cimarron. Now,
Yancey Kravitz.
Yancey, he has a whole different... Now, he does have a kill count. We know that because he does murder a man in a church, as well as has notches on his 6-shooter. However, this is a man who cares not of anyone else in this world. He is self-aggrandizing. He does not have any he doesn't pick up on any social clues. He's clueless to all of that. He is gaslighter to the max, abandons families, mistreats everyone around him. But he gaslights so well that everyone still loves him. It is straight psychopath behavior. James, what do you got here?
So Dr. Lizardo falls victim to Wicked Witch / Miss Gulch syndrome, where Dr. Lizardo was just a little bit irresponsible with the initial experiment, and then he got taken over by an alien brain. So he's also grouped into John Warfin, who is a kind of Nazi-esque alien. However, Yancey is just delusional to where it damages his family dynamic. He goes missing for 5 years. He goes missing again for like 22 years, like just leaves his family, is very self-righteous, wants to just extort townspeople for money. When he just says, "Oh, I'm so good, I could be the town sheriff, I could be the town lawyer, I could be the town minister." He's a power hungry son of a bitch. And like we said, when one of my favorite quotes, if you haven't listened to the Cimarron episode, go back and listen to it. It's fucking hilarious. But Nick, you said it. There was like a pause you took, and you had to really just take a breath and explain why this movie was so bad. And he said the worst part about this fucking movie is that Yancey says, everyone says that he should be governor or a politician. And he says, "I'm too principled to be a politician." And he said, but that's all he fucking is. He is moving on. He just steamrolls Dr.
He has
Bizarro.
to. He does.
Yancey. He out here. This is the best picture, by the way. Best picture winner for the Oscars.
Yikes.
Nick, our number 2 and 7 is going to be Nino Brown, a 2 seed. He is the very charismatic drug lord of New Jack Crack City. He's slinging that crack. He's taking over apartments. He's cheating on girlfriends. He is Mr. Steal Yo Girl. And by yo, we mean G-Money, one of his best friends, because he's a power tripping, power hungry, egotistical son of a bitch. Lest we forget the backstory of him pouring gasoline on a kid, lighting him on fire, and beating him up with a baseball bat.
Tough.
Good luck to Dr. Voller, who is a quote unquote scientist who is a reform Nazi, but wants to find Archimedes' dial to go back in time and make sure Nazi Germany wins.
He wants to become Hitler.
He wants to be the Fuhrer. Now, I know what you're thinking. How the hell is a New Crack City going to go up against a time-traveling Hitler stan? Well, that's what we're going to talk about right now.
Well, I think this is easily Nino Brown. I think he basically was the Hitler of New Jack City.
Of them streets,
right? Taking over the Carter, going through, murdering everybody. Not, murdering friends, hurting his friends, stabbing his friends in the hand. The only guy who's doing his job, he got thrown under the bus, right? His girl's brother who did the tech. And then at the last scene, he's like, it was this guy. And he looked at him at one point in the movie and goes, "I've never fucking liked you." You're like, "What? This is the only guy. It's the only guy who's actually carrying his weight in this whole operation."
He got all the floppy disks when the cops came and raided the joint. He did his job.
So this is Nino, just the no remorse. He had a little remorse for G Money.
Dr. Voller had he was cooperative with his assailants and his partners in crime. Nino Brown was
such a wild card.
Like we said, am I my brother's keeper? No, he ain't. All for one, baby. He is all for one.
All right, James, and that moves us to our number 1 seed. Our last matchup of the first round in the biggest piece of shit bracket. Our number 1 seed of the Psychopath division is Dementis from Furiosa. He obviously kills Furiosa's mom. He is ruthless. Makes her watch. Kills multiple people out in the wasteland. I'm assuming raping and pillaging. He runs into the Citadel thinking he could just take it out. He doesn't, but then he goes and wrecks the Bullet Farm. He is power hungry. He is molded by the wasteland to not care about anybody, to only care about killing and power. And has the means to do it. Not just has the means, he acquires the means to do it. He acquires power to hurt people. And he is going up against maybe the biggest quote-unquote actual psycho that we saw this year in our movies. That is Alex Forrest from Fatal Attraction.
Oh my gosh.
I'll tell you what, if there's one person Dementis did not want to see in the first round, it is that insane Alex Forrest who sleeps around, falls in love, and then becomes a stalker, tries to kill wives. Just
Kills rabbits.
Talk about kills rabbits.
Kills innocent bunnies. Kidnaps kids.
Puts them in boiling water. She's everywhere too. She's sneaky.
she's quick with it. And it's interesting. Dementis and Alex Forrest are kind of similar because they had a bad traumatic experience and they had a bad reaction to that. And their life choices are awful. I feel like Dementis obviously has a bigger impact, being the wasteland warlord, leading crews, storming capitals, taking over cities, running them into the ground, just all around, just an agent of chaos. And Alex Forrest is where Dementis ruins many lives. Alex Forrest will come in and just pinpoint a poor bastard like Dan Gallagher, aka Michael Douglas, and Fatal Attraction, and she goes one by one. And Alex Forrest, I thought was very strong. Shocking that she's at the 8 seed here.
Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. I think she just isn't as lethal as someone as Dementis, right? Dementis has carried out a lot of murderous activities, whereas Alex Forrest has yet to. But the psychological,
I think it's the
warfare.
I don't know, the flip flopping she does is like
so unstable.
Just that scene when she's fighting Michael Douglas in her apartment and they're fighting over the kitchen knife, and then she like breaks and then looks at him and smiles as if she's in love. That's big psycho vibes for me, man.
I'm gonna make you call it.
Alex Forrest, you know what? You were our EGOT. You were the P.O.S of Fatal Attraction. You were the best fighter. You were the most valuable character, and you were the biggest piece of shit. And you may have never won an Oscar, but you're moving on in the biggest piece of shit bracket.
The upset.
The major upset. We believe Golden State Alex Forrest defeats Dallas Dementis.
Have you ever seen anything like it in your life?
Fucking go. It's the unpredictability of her. Woo. Dementis is predictable. She is not. And Nick,
all right, Jane.
Guess fucking what? Round 2, we're sticking with this shit. So we got Alex Forrest going up against that psycho truck driver. What do we think here?
Well, they're very similar people right here, actually, if you think about it, because for me, they both fixate on one thing and will continuously go after it until they get it. The truck driver, we never get to see his psychotic breaks, although he does help people out throughout the movie. Oddly enough. And so he's not a bad person.
Yeah.
He's not a bad person all the time.
He helps the school bus.
Yeah. But I didn't know if that was all the time.
I didn't know if that was messing with David Mann to like just play the psychological game. Like, hey, look, like I'm not a psycho.
Is that better or worse?
It's pretty psycho to show that you're willing to do a good deed and then just flip the switch and say, I'm going to run you down and kill you.
The thing that Alex Forrest brings to the table for me is that she is actively getting involved in her target's personal life, calling his wife, threatening to tell her she's pregnant, even though we're not sure if she is, taking the daughter's bunny, taking the kid out of school,
amusement park. Yeah,
that's nut job behavior.
Creepy. Oh man, 2 creeps, and the creep is nowhere to be seen past the first round. Shout out BMX Bandits. Oof, man.
I think I feel like you've talked me into Alex Forrest.
You made me call out the first round. I'm making you call out the second round.
I think I have to bring Alex Forrest forward. I think she continues the Cinderella run here as the 8 seed, moving into the Elite 8 of the bracket.
Okay.
She's just that. I think the fact that we get to see her face throughout the movie adds a little more to her and her devious nature.
Alex Forrest, moving on.
All right, James. Now this is a nice meat and potatoes one. So now we're bringing Yancey
pound for pound
to Nino Brown
versus 3. Let's go.
Like the last matchup, I think these are 2 of the exact same people. However, Nino knows he's evil. Yancey thinks he's a good guy. And I want to bring this point up that you sort of didn't hit on your first go around for Yancey.
I didn't hit on it.
He did disappear for 5 years. He came back to represent the town whore that his wife hated in court because he's also a lawyer. And we're also pretty sure he slept with her.
Yeah, so that drove us insane. So he built up this town, Osage, in Oklahoma. His wife is reluctant to move there from Wichita. They make a life there. And then all of a sudden, 4 years later, he is bored. And then the boys come hooting and hollering. And he eats off with the boys. And we go hooting and hollering with the boys.
Eating off with the boys and hooting and hollering, man.
We said it back in March, and we're saying it now at Christmas time. Normalize hooting and hollering with the boys. I hope you're doing that this holiday season. Because Yancey goes hooting and hollering to go conquer more land, manifest destiny, madman out there. And then he comes back and says, "Oh, didn't you miss me? Give me a kiss, daughter. How you doing, wife?" It's like, we don't have cell phones. We're in the land rush. We're in 1890s. We don't know you. Where have you been? You were in the Spanish-American War? I'm sorry. And then he comes back that afternoon, hasn't seen his family in 5 years. That afternoon at 2:00, the town whore, who we suspect he was cheating with on his wife, is on trial for being a whore. And he comes rushing to her side. Yancey beats CINEDOME Round. Crazy. The crack lord of New York City gets overtaken by old Yance.
Yancey is hooting and hollering his way into the next round, and I agree with you. I think Yancey he's a dangerous 3 seed. He got hot at the right time, getting into this bracket and ready to run through some sons of bitches.
All right, well let's just work our way backwards. Let's jump over to the assholes. 1 verse 4. Nick, Jumbo the Clown versus gaslighting, exploiting Teddy from Memento. 2 very different ones, I'd say.
Yeah,
one is acting just on pure. I don't know what Jumbo's about. Teddy has an agenda. Jumbo does not. They are majorly different.
So that's my take. In my vision, I think Jumbo continues his buzzsaw run. I think he is the number 1 seed for a reason.
The blades are sharp.
Yeah, he doesn't have a motive other than wanting to murder. The rest of the clowns are just they're playful, sure, but they're trying to eat people. He doesn't even take his cotton candy sack of the other prisoners with him. He just leaves them there. He's not collecting.
No, he murders them. Yeah.
He just murders them and leaves them. The rest of the people get taken as cotton candy sacks. Not Jumbo. Jumbo just kills them, cotton candies them, and leaves them there. It's personal for him. And that's scary to me. So I think Jumbo continues this is the
reign of terror.
The Patriots. These are the undefeated
Patriots. 2010 Patriots
through the playoffs, ready to hurt some people. It's a 2013 Patriots.
He is the Indominus Rex
or 2010
of this bracket.
It's
Jumbo. Jumbo moves on.
So, James, in round 2, we have our surprise winner out of round 1, Patrick from Indian in the Cupboard. Little psychopath, really wants to play God, really has no regard for these quote-unquote toys who actually are real people, and he knows this when he's making his decisions. And he's going up against Bullseye, the man who kills for fun.
Now this is another very different. The assholes are different. They're built different from each other. Oh, Patrick is a power hungry little bitch that just loves to take advantage of. He doesn't value the lives of the soul snatched toys.
Yeah.
Man, Bullseye. He is just so cocky and just so lethal. He makes if there's a mascot for the assholes, I think Bullseye is a perfect selection.
You get the Colin Farrell crazy eyes too. My issue with Patrick, I'm thinking about it. Would I rather be murdered or have my soul snatched away? I think I'd rather be murdered. I think that's a little more merciful.
So Patrick is the bigger asshole?
I mean, there's an argument there, is all I'm saying. I mean, look, we're as far as I see it, not to get ahead of myself, we're just sending some poor sucker up against Jumbo the Clown. So
now hold on. Anybody can step up and get hot. And anybody can get hot at the right moment.
yeah.
You know, the more we talk about it, maybe the more layers we peel back, and the more we'll be surprised. But for this matchup, oh man.
There's also an issue with Patrick where for his friend's birthday, I think he just jacked a figurine to give to him. He's not a thoughtful person. He's not a good friend.
He is a child, so benefit of the doubt, doesn't know better. Bullseye does he does bad stuff, but people are paying him to do it. But he does it in a very asshole-ish way.
Yeah, he's cocky.
This is a tough one. Big cock.
It is.
E.
I think for me it's Bullseye because he does go out of his way to kill people even outside of his contracts. You know, he is just angry.
The lady on the plane just flicks raisins into her throat and kills her.
Oh, yeah. Kills the lady on the plane just because she was
talking too much.
Yeah. I think Bullseye moves on here.
Bullseye, you have the best chance against Jumbo. So, Patrick, you had a good run, but your season's over.
He got out of the first round. He should feel very proud of his asshole nature. However, that division will have the 1 and 2 seeds going up against each other. Sometimes it just works that way. James, let's run it down to the dipshit bracket. We're going to start out with two people who are not quite quote unquote dangerous, but they're just not quite right. We have our pervy director from Leonard Part 6, and he is going up against our, hey, you're gay, Bullet.
It's Bullet. It's Bullet.
Yeah.
Pervy director, he's a little bit of a gag, a little bit of a shtick in Leonard Part 6, but my God, is Bullet destructive to everyone around him, including himself. He makes the worst decisions ever.
And at no point owns up to them.
Second round for Dipshit's Willie Scott, Temple of Doom, going up against a similar vibe movie of Romancing the Stone, Zolo. You're waving this off like it's a walk away. What do you think?
I think it's a walk away for Willie Scott. I do. And trust me, Zolo had enough juice. Yeah, Zolo had enough juice to get out of the first round, but there wasn't much more to him other than he took his loss personally and then wanted to go on a murder spree and feed people to alligators. And, that's a big dick move.
That'll get you places, but not far.
That'll get you past Dr. Nobi, but it is not going to get you past the whiny
Willie.
Just terrible. Oh,
I broke a nail.
Bugs.
Oh, I dropped the diamonds in the beginning scene. I'm just tagging along with you because aren't you gonna come in my room and sex me? Willie Scott. Awful.
Yeah.
That's another one too. That's another one too going at it in the next round.
Sometimes it works out that way.
It worked out that way twice. Let's see if it's gonna happen that way for the cowards. Starting at number 3, Carmen's dad, Al, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, representing, is going up against Smoke Signals, Arnold. Two bad dads. Hashtag bad dads.
Two bad dads. So this is tough because Arnold, you know me. I have a beef with Arnold.
On paper.
I don't like
on
Arnold.
On paper, really strong.
Yeah.
Strong coward.
I have the receipts from the podcast. Everything about Arnold upset me. There's a great scene in Smoke Signals where he's playing basketball by himself and he's recounting to Susie's song about, this moment he had with his son, but it's all lies. He's so delusional. He does not understand the depths of his assholeness.
Yeah. Cause he said that they won the game. And then when Victor Joseph shows up to the scene, he's like, oh, so he told you that we won. Delusional to the end, man. Super delusional.
Went
Carmen's
to the
dad,
grave with
Carmen's dad is a pretty prototypical coward, but honestly, not really anything that's crazy out of the realm of what any person in that situation might do. Might be a little bit reluctant to bring up your second family. Could have handled it better, but man, a drunk, abusive father who is delusional till the bitter end. Arnold, 2 seed. proving the system works here in the coward division.
Let's put it to the test here, James.
Let's see if we're gonna get a 3 out of 4 1-2 punch. What do we got?
We have our final matchup of the Sweet 16, our 1 seed from the coward bracket. We have Fowler from Four Brothers, who, not many things made me as mad as his betrayal of Terrence Howard.
Man.
I was gonna say he's going up against Hugh Jeff, and Hugh Jeff did the terrible deed
Dirty
of
deed.
Impersonating someone else again when he didn't have to, which makes you think he's done this before. Did he bang the girl at the beginning of It Follows, and then when she died, he went on to bang another? He banged Jay?
When we were discussing that movie, I presented that as a theory and a question, and we came to the agreement that the opening scene of It Follows, spoilers, the damsel in distress gets murdered, and we decided that it was the chain working its way backwards. So that girl got murdered, and then it was moving back to Jeff, back in line, which means that he passed it on to a poor innocent girl, and then she became a victim in the chain of violence. And then he elects to pass it on to another innocent late teenage, early 20s girl of Jay.
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty rough.
That is tough. So Hugh Jeff is acting on instinct, whereas Fowler is he's scheming. He's playing both sides. He's trying to just look out for what's right for him. Doesn't care who gets killed. Doesn't care that Evelyn Mercer, the sweet Irish mother, I mean, she was American in the movie. She's an Irish actor. Our beautiful mother of Evelyn Mercer got murdered. Wrong move. Guns down Terrence Howard outside of a Detroit bar. And
after he gets caught by Terrence Howard,
I think he takes that entire box of Three Musketeers from that little ginger kid.
He sure does. Which, I mean, that might be the tipping point.
It's just and again, it's like that adult versus kids. Adult should know better. Whereas, I don't know, I'm leaning Fowler, but I'm not against a Hugh Jeff upset. So what do you think here?
Hugh Jeff does end up confessing. He does have guilt about it, right? He does have some sort of arc where he says, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done this. I had poor judgment at the time. Fowler, when he gets caught by Terrence Howard, just follows him into an alley and guns him down. So I think, as boring as it is, as bland as it is, these are 1 and 2 seeds for a reason, James. And I think Fowler takes it.
I think Fowler takes it too. He also opens fire on cops after he thinks he's been made. But as we know, at the end of Four Brothers, it was all a ruse. They never had the cops on their side. So he exposed himself and took the coward way out. He's so
wrapped up in his psyche that he is his own demise.
Oh man, Nick, we're at the Elite Eight here, working our way to the Final Four. Number 1, Fowler going up against number 2, Arnold. We just said their backstories. We pleaded their cases. Nick, what is a bigger coward move, and enough to elevate these guys into the conversation for the biggest piece of shit of 2024? A 2-time and double agent backstabbing detective, or a delusional, alcoholic, abusive father?
Man,
this is a tough one. 1 and 2. Here we go.
My head says Fowler.
Here we go.
For the reasons we said. My heart still hates Arnold.
I'm biased, Nick. I'm biased.
Oh,
Who's
I
moving
think
on?
that's impossible. But I think if I just had to go with my gut real quick, Fowler. Especially with how attached
Fowler
the audience became with Terrence Howard, how good of a person Terrence Howard was. He couldn't stand that there was a good cop as his partner.
Arnold was a train wreck, and we kind of got to experience his bad behavior and poor decisions through flashbacks and through conversations. Whereas Fowler, it was just unraveling in real time, and just it was pissing off the audience because we thought, man, this guy is getting away with this crap. This sucks. Coward move. Big Fowler. Moving on. Nick, another
James.
1-2 punch. moving back to the dipshits. Willie Scott going up against Bullet. This is tough.
Oh,
This is tough. I am leaning one way. I'm just going to say it out loud. Bullet.
it's Bullet. Like Willie
Bullet.
Scott, you got your
Annoying?
run for being annoying, but you
Bullet.
did not get to. You
My
cannot
God.
go up against the top tier of the pieces of shit unless you are.
I think he's
like
the
Bullet.
best at making the worst decisions out of this entire
He makes
bracket.
the worst decisions, and he has no remorse. He justifies his decisions, and he brings those close to him into terrible situations with his decisions. It's reckless. It's awful. He's moving on. He's in the final four.
And surprise, surprise, a heroin addict made it to the final four. Nick, assholes. Let's finish out the 1-2s. We have the buzzsaw of Jumbo going up against the cocky bastard of Ireland, Bullseye. This is Jumbo's been a buzzsaw, but man, Bullseye has a case.
Bullseye is great. Again, he really just likes killing. But so does Jumbo. Now, the thing that does it for me with Jumbo is he doesn't know this planet. He doesn't know its customs. One thing happens, and he is just on a personal murder spree. And it's luring the child. It's trying to lure the child out. I've said it this whole time. Jumbo is a buzzsaw. I don't see Bullseye being able to overcome that. Jumbo is, again, it's the killing people and just leaving them there for no purpose. And I know Bullseye had some murders, but you had to cross him first. Not Jumbo.
You know, Nick, they say actions speak louder than words. And I think that's 100% true here because Jumbo says nothing. And Bullseye really carried himself into the Elite Eight with his cocky shit talking and his actions. But man, Jumbo just proved his point with hysterical murders of the people of Crescent Cove. So Jumbo, Final Four candidate. And Nick, our very strong bracket where we have an 8 seed toe-to-toe with a 3 seed. This bracket is wild because we have Alex Forrest, the 8 seed, underdog Cinderella story of the year, going up against old Yance, the delusional manifest destiny, infatuated delusional psycho. Man, what do we think?
Yeah, I think, I think the Cinderella takes Yance into overtime, gives him all he can handle, but at the end of the day, Yancey is the stronger option here. He overruns a church, forces donations out of people, talks about the Native Americans. They'd be too crazy to give us money, but has no intention of giving them land or rights. He
says I'm not racist, but I am.
Yeah, but he is. Let's not forget who was his young black companion. I'm blanking
Isaiah.
on the name. Isaiah. Isaiah was dying in the street, and Yancey stepped over him.
Tylewd. Iverson Tylewd him.
Yeah.
Never forget.
So,
Isaiah. That's oof, man.
Yancey's
you pulled out that one. You pulled
Yancey's
out that one.
Special kind.
Yancey pulls out the Iverson for the Elite Eight and moves into the Final Four. Holy effing crap, dude. Okay. Nick, that was too much of a spectacle that I need to step away from this West Coast conference here. Let's move over to the right side because we're on
James,
our Final
real
Four.
quick.
We have
Real quick. When we started this thing, be honest with me. Did you picture a world where we had Yancey, Bullet, Jumbo, and Fowler as our Final Four? Because I kind of did.
No, I actually didn't know who was going to be in the Final Four. I didn't know. And I'm happy to see these guys duke it out because we have 2 1 seeds, a 2 seed, and a 3 seed. And Nick, I think we need to get away from all that sauce on that Western Conference. Let's move it back to the East side. We're going asshole v cowards. We have Jumbo the Clown versus Fowler from Four Brothers, 1 seed, mono e mono. What do we think?
Jumbo comes to a planet he doesn't know and goes on a murder spree. Fowler embeds himself, becomes friends with people, and then kills those friends. There's a level of remorse that you should feel at his stage, and he just doesn't. Man, Fowler feels... I didn't think Jumbo was going to be taken down here, but I think Fowler, for me, is going to put his dukes up and take down the big old downtown clown.
From downtown, he dunks on that clown. Yeah, no, Fowler he's a convincing piece of shit. Jumbo, undisputed guy of his division. However, just Fowler, just the decision making, the calculated moves, just the waiting till the right time to strike and stab your friend in the back versus choking a guy out with a party blower. I think Fowler has to move on here. The 1 seed from the Cowards, actually. Assholes usually the stronger division. Let's go Cowards.
Yeah.
But let's be honest. Fowler was pretty well rounded. He was an asshole. He was a psycho. So I think he got
a great draw. He got a great draw being in the Cowards bracket for sure.
Yeah, he got categorized very luckily.
Let's talk about the heavyweight bout here going on the West Coast of this bracket.
Oh my God.
Our biggest dipshit versus our champion from the Psycho Sociopath bracket. We have Bullet and we have Yancey. Two people who have no regard for the people around them. Puts them in danger, gaslights them, has a kill count. I mean, where do we go?
Nick, I thought this was going to be a bigger conversation and a little bit of a toss up, but dude, honestly, I'm thinking about the final scenes of these movies. Bullet, when he tells Adrian Brody to get out of here and he loves him and to go pursue his art, shows him that he lives in reality. He's not delusional. He knows this is a bad decision. He knows this is a bad life. He makes dipshit, stupid ass decisions the entire movie. But you know who else does? Fucking Yancey. And at the very end, he gets cradled in his gaslit wife's arms and says, "Hide me in your love." And he thinks he is the goddamn main character in his fucking movie. He is delusional till the end. Nick, for me, Psycho Sociopath Yancey takes this. No surprise, the strong division for me. Any rebuttals?
Yeah. No, I completely agree with you.
It's
Bullet,
tough. It's tough until something clicks. Until something clicks.
Yeah. Bullet is I like how you brought up the ending of their characters where Bullet does care. Well, he's a big piece of shit telling his boy he's gay. He's trying to do the right thing, I guess. Yancey, like you said, hoots and hollers off. Even his wife, like you said, his wife coming to his rescue at the end, coming to his aid. She has such Stockholm syndrome with her husband that she's like, "Oh no, you should hate this man. What has he psychologically done to you?" He is, man,
damaging.
He is something else. And I mean, I'm not going to lie to you. I know I asked you the question, did you see this coming? I've had Yancey pegged as a champion for a long
You've been lobbying for Yancey?
time. I'm not lobbying. You called it. I'm just saying, in my head, if you would have said,
just happy it worked out that way.
No. Call it. But am I wrong? That's what I'm saying. Well, we're going to find out, James, because one guy I didn't see coming to take on the old Yance man was Fowler from Four Brothers, who is, and I think the hard part about Four Brothers is how much we love and connect with the characters in that movie. And to see Fowler come in and not have any love for the city, no respect for the brothers, and to just come in and gun a man down is, that's tough. On the other hand, have you ever been a bigger piece of shit than Yancey? And that's the question. One guy's violent, the other guy lives his whole life as a piece of shit.
So, okay, that's very interesting because Four Brothers takes place in the span of maybe like 2 months at most, whereas Cimarron, the Best Picture winner of the 4th ever Academy Awards, takes place over 20, 30 years. And man, this man's entire life, or a big chunk of it until the bitter end, has been poor decision after poor decision after gaslighting after gaslighting,
Never
after
writes to his
abandonment
wife.
after abandonment, after leaving your boy out to dry and to die in the streets of Osage, Oklahoma. Just never raised the kids, never said sorry I wasn't around. Totally changed the psyche of his loved ones, and just honestly, I'm surprised that those guys came out okay. I'm surprised that Sabra came out all right, became a congresswoman. His son came out okay. His daughter was a big piece of shit. But that's the product of Yancey. And Nick, Fowler was a very convincing guy, but I think it's that it comes down to that. It boils down to the old adage of, are you a piece of shit because you know what you're doing, or are you a piece of shit because you don't know what you're doing? Yancey doesn't know what he's doing. Fowler does know what he's doing. So what's the call?
I think being a piece of shit has to be in your DNA. You can't be swayed by money. You can't be swayed by relationships. You can't be swayed. It's just
the
in
three
ya.
seed, the psycho, the socio, the motherfucking Yance in the pants. It's Yancey Kravitz from our oldest movie we've ever seen, 1931's Best Picture winner of Cimarron. Holy crap. Nick, you saw it coming. I didn't see it coming.
When we saw that movie, I just said to myself, I would be shocked if this man does not. It's a different level. It's 1930s piece of shit. You know, there's just no, because the worst part is the filmmaker thought he was the good guy. And that's what makes it so convincing in the movie as a character.
It's creepy.
Is that everyone thought, oh yeah, Yancey's the main character, not thinking, no, this guy's the worst person in the world.
And Nick, the best part is that he was portrayed by a man named Richard Dix. And how could you not be a big piece of shit when your name is Dick Dix? Are you kidding me? Dick Dix is a big old dick, and he's our biggest piece of shit of 2024. Holy crap.
Easy.
Nick, well done. I'm very satisfied with our biggest piece of shit of 2024 being Yancey Kravitz from the quote-unquote Best Picture of Cimarron. Holy shit. Nick, what is a new addition to this year's rap party, the main event? It's something, it was the biggest piece of shit I had last year. So that was something that I was cooking up. It was a complete surprise to you. And I was very happy with the way it unfolded, the outcome. It was awesome. Same feelings here, because this is a new addition for the rap party. This is the fighter tournament. And Nick, we're going beyond Thunderdome. This is not Thunderdome, because I want to welcome you in to the CINEDOME, where we take our best fighters we ranked of 2024. We pit them up against each other, not by rank, at random, via how? A wheel. Because we all know from Beyond Thunderdome, Mad Max, our franchise of 2023, if you bust the deal,
Yes,
you spin the wheel. Absolutely. So, Nick, this is all wheel focused. So what I've done here is we have a best fighter from every single movie we've watched. We've watched an even 32 movies. That makes an even 32 bracket attack. So just like our biggest piece of shit, we would have 4 divisions. We would have 8 fighters. Yeah. The only thing is that we're not doing it bracket style. There is no divisions, and we have 2 wild cards. They were just too good to throw away. So we actually have 34 fighters. Our top seeds, they get a bye. So Jack Frost and the Entity from It Follows are 1 and 2 that we decided on the pregame episode.
From our tier list, yep.
From the tier list, yeah. So they set this first round out. So we do have 32. We'll have 16 matchups. And Nick, with 32 fighters, we also have 32 weapons that we ranked. And guess what? Just like Thunderdome, these are coming into play in the CINEDOME. So,
oh boy.
And guess what? the wheel is at work again. So here's how it's going to work.
No.
Here's how it's going to work. Nick, I've already randomized round 1 for ranked fighters of 3 through 34. So the matchups are set. And here's the rules. We have different tiers. We had a god level, we had superhuman, we had street level, or we had skilled fighters, street level, and then punching bag. So out of all of these matchups, very oddly, there was only 2 of them that were in the same tier. And those 2 matchups are not going to feature weapons because we have 34 fighters. So I want the weapons till the bitter end. So this round 1 where we have even matchups, mano y mano, it's just going to be skill set to skill set. So that's the rules.
Okay.
And then for the rest of the time, the underdog, the underclass fighter who we ranked on our tier list, they are granted the weapon if they are outclassed. So Nick.
Oh, I love this.
Oh yeah. So starting out with round 1, you couldn't even write it up this way because the wheel chose our biggest piece of shit of Yancey to go up first. Yancey is up. And the wheel selected our first wild card out of 2 wild cards, Bullseye. So Yancey, Yancey is in the CINEDOME with Bullseye. Yancey was ranked 24th out of 34, and Bullseye was ranked 5th. Bullseye's in that superhuman level, and Yancey is a street fighter, street level. So Yancey gets the weapon, and Nick, the weapon that the wheel drew for old Yance is the semi-truck from Duel. So, who's coming out on top?
I think this is Bullseye, 110%.
I think it's Bullseye. Yancey, they had the 30-mile-an-hour jalopy 2-cylinder, but I feel like Yancey just wouldn't know how to operate a vehicle. And truck is hard. Truck is hard.
We had Bullseye on a motorcycle ripping shots at people. I don't think a windshield stops this man. I think he takes that down every step of the way.
Okay.
I think this is Bullseye every day of the week.
Bullseye moves on. Nick, next in our round 1 matchups, the wheel chose. This one's going to break my heart because I really wanted these 2 to go the distance separately. Unfortunately, they are pitted against each other. This is a same playing field, no weapons needed. And unfortunately, it's probably the marquee matchup of the whole bracket.
In round 1.
We have the 4 seed, 4th best ranked fighter, Daredevil, going up against 3 seed, Chewbacca.
Oh,
really sucks.
Shit.
Really sucks. I really wanted these guys to go the entire way, but they are forced and pitted against each other. And Nick, I'm kind of leaning that Chewie takes this one.
Me too. I love Daredevil.
I love Daredevil.
He's a top tier
fighter.
Superhero for me. He's a great fighter. But if Chewie gets his hands on you,
he's ripping your arms off, dude.
Yeah, Daredevil just doesn't quite have the range. You know, if this was Chewie versus Bullseye, we'd have a conversation. But
yeah,
no, that's unfortunate. But yeah, I don't think Chewie's a hard one to take down. And,
the problem is when you're 7'6", 247 pounds, and you're a Wookiee from Kashyyyk, I think you can kind of whoop some ass on a little measly old 6'2", 200-pound human from Hell's Kitchen.
It's a blind kid.
That sucks. That sucks. Okay, Daredevil goes down. Chewie is moving on. He is our second champion here. Okay, our next matchup in round 1, the wheel drew. Ranked 23rd on our fighters list, the guy who grabbed Neil by the sack.
He fights dirty.
He fights dirty, and Nick, he has to go up against someone that he actually outranks, the 31st best fighter of Little Bear, who is a 3-inch displaced human from an alternate timeline, or maybe he has a fabricated consciousness. So Little Bear is the underclassman here, so that means he gets the weapon in the CINEDOME, and the wheel chose the Killer Clown's cotton candy gun for Little Bear.
Oh, well, that changes a lot.
It does change
Now-
it, but he's kind of too small to operate it.
That's what I was gonna say. Does the weapon shrink down?
No.
Well, then it's ball grabber guy, because if that man can squeeze testicles, that man will crush Little Bear. You think Little Bear is
Wow.
stronger than a full size human testicle?
No.
I'm just saying. If you can lift a man up by his sack, I think you can squish Little Bear in the palm of your hands, and that sucks for Little Bear. And he did get an OP weapon. He got a very OP weapon.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it sucks that the OP weapon was wasted on
there's a lot
2-inch tall figurine.
There's a lot of OP weapons just going out in the first round. It's pretty nuts. Yeah.
Well, sorry, Little
But,
Bear,
hey.
but you got squeezed like a ball sack, and you have lost in round 1.
But the wheel calls. Sack grabber, moving on. He survives in the fucked up gauntlet of Just Play It. 0 for 2 for weapons helping out the underdog here. Let's see if that story is going to change, because we have 19th ranked best fighter of Return to Oz's TikTok, the animatronic robot. He's going to go up against another little stout guy of Shorty the Clown from Killer Clowns. This is that head punchy
One
clown.
punch. Yeah.
Ranked 7 on our best fighter, superhuman status. So, TikTok, unfortunately, sucks if you're going up against Jack Frost, because he is blessed with antifreeze. Now, Shorty the punchy clown was really effective against human heads, but TikTok is a
TikTok's
robot.
Head off.
And TikTok did take on like 12 wheelers with a lunch pail bucket. So it's tough, man. It's tough. I mean,
God, I feel like this is almost a stalemate. I'm trying
if he had
to
a
think.
jug of antifreeze and he was doing that spin move on Shorty, you know?
Yeah. I can't. I feel like antifreeze can't be good for the clowns. However,
we all know if you bust their nose, then they just die. So what if TikTok did that spinny move with the jug of antifreeze and just fucking whacked them on the nose?
I forgot about their weakness. I don't think he could take out. I don't think Shorty could take off TikTok's head. I think TikTok gets the upper hand here.
Ooh,
I actually think TikTok pulls the upset.
Our first upset. Let's go.
Shorty really drew a hard spot here, because he could punch off any organic creature's head, but he didn't pull an organic creature in the first round.
Our first upset, antifreeze helps out. I think we just credit TikTok in this situation. But our fifth matchup of round 1, we have the Evil Dead's Ash Williams, right in the middle, ranked 15th best fighter of 2024. He's going up against the second wild card of the CINEDOME fucked up gauntlet Street Fighter tournament Mortal Kombat of John Big Booty from Buckaroo Banzai, who is an alien and can spit venom, I think, and can jump super high and does that funny stiff arm double punch and takes out 2 humans. So Ash Williams is kind of part Deadite, but he is technically outclassed, which means the wheel is going to bless Ash with the Star Wars A Solo Story, the Electro Ripper Staff. Now, this is a thing that can cut through metal. So if this was against TikTok, he'd be kind of toast. It also has that shockwave blunt end. So Ash Williams, John Big Booty.
I was going to give it to Big Booty, because I thought to myself, Ash really is a resourceful person who relies on the weapons around him. But we're giving him a really OP staff here.
A good weapon.
Ash Williams was able to cut off someone's head with a shovel. I shudder to think what he can do with that staff. I think Ash takes down John Big Booty here, because John Big Booty's still a little goofy. You know, it's not like he's a focused fighter.
Yeah, and Ash could take on evil spirits, possess people. He can take on people that are not humans. And I think I echo what you said. He's resourceful with the utilities that are handed to him. So I think he takes that Electro Ripper Staff from Emphasis hands and just cuts through John Big Booty. Sorry.
Yep.
The red Electroid goes down. Ash Williams moves on. Nick, our sixth matchup of round one. We're digging to the bottom of the barrel in this one. We have our 33rd ranked fighter.
Oh, no.
Of dipshit Derek from Minutemen. At a major disadvantage. He is going up. So Derek is technically classified on our tier list as a punching bag. However, this guy is street level, but he was pretty much a giant punching bag in the movie he is from, because we have ranked 25th Sam Quint from Black Moon Rising, who just got his ass beat the entire time. Really, it was durability that got him through the movie.
Yeah.
He did come out on top at the end. But Derek, being the underdog here, the wheel has chosen Del Griffith's cigarette as his weapon. So good luck to Derek in this one. Honestly,
I don't think Sam
it's all Sam.
is a great fighter, but I think Derek Sam meets his end here. At least he gets one last cigarette before he gets put down.
Sam Quint moves on. So here's what I was thinking. I was imagining, like, hey, let's say like a dream matchup. Like, let's say it's number 1 Jack Frost versus number 5 Bullseye. And I thought, if there was anyone that could make a cigarette deadly, it'd be Bullseye. And the cigarette has fire in it, which is not good for Jack Frost, who's made of the state of water. Not the shape of water, the state of water, because he is vapor and solids and liquid. So I thought that would be the one chance in like 658 million chances where maybe someone could take down Jack Frost, like Bullseye with the Siggy. Derek with the Siggy, fucking dead ass Derek, dude.
Don't
super
count out
dead.
TikTok with antifreeze though.
Oh, so here's the rules, Nick. Once a weapon's used, it's out.
Oh, I thought they carried that weapon to the next round.
Nope. This is the CINEDOME. No, every weapon gets a chance to shine here. So there's going to be a weapon appearance.
One weapon gets added. Okay.
There's a weapon appearance in every single round. Yeah, sorry, I didn't explain that in the beginning. But yes,
that's totally
once a weapon is used, it is done. So we are burning through some goods and some bads in round one. Our 7th matchup is an interesting one. It's going to be Leonard Shelby, Guy Pearce from Memento. He's ranked 18 on our best fighters list. And he's a street level fighter, and he's going up against a skilled fighter ranked 14th of Furiosa. So Leonard Shelby is outranked, which means he gets the weapons, the popcorn concession stand wheel, weapons picked out. Daredevil's batons / grapples for Leonard Shelby going up against Furiosa.
I think those grapples, batons, blind stick require a lot of skill that I don't think Leonard Shelby has. Furiosa has pure anger and a life on the wasteland.
Survivalist. I think
Furiosa. It's just Furiosa.
Furiosa
just
definitely
confused anyway.
If she just stopped fighting him and changed the subject, he'd forget what he's doing, and then she'd strike. Yeah. Leonard goes down.
Poor Leonard.
Representing our 2 favorite movies of the year, Memento and Furiosa. So way to go. Furiosa comes out on top.
Very different movies. One has a real fighter. The other one doesn't.
Our 8th matchup is so this is our second one that is going to have no weapons, because this is the same level of fighter. We have street level fighters, very, very just like our 3 and 4. This is a 22 versus 20 rank. Okay. Because we have Keisha from New Jack City going up against Sandwich Guy from Duel. So one's a highwayman, just trucker on the road, up tough as nails.
Brawler.
Just, you take my sandwich, I'm a punch ya. Versus a certified gangster from New York City, is probably one of the only girls, if not the only girl, in the Cash Money Brothers gang running crack in them streets. So, I mean, Keisha she kind of needed her Uzi to do damage, but she was pretty scrappy. You know, she is outranked by Sandwich Guy by 2 rankings, though.
I think if she walked into that truck stop and messed with
Truck's
that man's
Cafe.
sandwich,
Oof.
Yeah, I think that guy would put her down, which would be a tough scene to watch this big white trucker just beat down a black girl. But I think
Spoilers,
that's what
Nick.
would happen, unfortunately.
Spoilers. I'm gonna see if you can call out the next tough scene, echoing that when we get to one of our later matchups in round 1. But Sandwich Guy is moving on. Our 9th matchup is Jack T. Colton, 17 ranking. He's going up against Buckaroo Banzai, who is ranked 13th on our list. It looks like you already have an answer. Before you make an answer, Nick, isn't it just poetic justice that Buckaroo Banzai has to go up against the weapon from his movie, aka the number 1 ranked weapon? Yes, we are burning through the best weapon of 2024 because Jack T. Colton is blessed with the Buckaroo Banzai railgun versus Buckaroo Banzai.
No,
this is
Buckaroo.
The ultimate conundrum. The ultimate.
As much as I want Buckaroo to win this, we saw what Jack T. Colton did with the shotgun. He is reckless abandon when he gets his hands on a weapon, and that railgun is just. I mean, if Jack
it's the
T.
best
Colton
weapon
has that railgun,
I think that's the cheat code. Unfortunately,
that was the one thing that could have. I mean, there were multiple things that could have taken down Buckaroo, but yeah, it's unfortunate for Buckaroo. But this is Jack T. Colton
because of the weapon. Because of the weapon,
Yeah.
so the weapon prevails.
If it was a straight up fisticuffs, it's Buckaroo.
Yeah, no, we've had a lot of just outperforming fighters beat down the person with the weapon, but this is just a weapon that you cannot beat. And yeah, I agree.
No.
Jack T. Colton walks away with this, blessed with the railgun.
Lucky
Nick,
draw.
Our 10th matchup here is an interesting one. The matchup's very not balanced, but the weapon, maybe, I don't know. We have Indiana Jones. He's ranked 9. Young Indy, yeah, this is Last Crusade Indy. That's when he got all bulked up and just got fucking tough as nails, sick of this shit. 9 ranked on the year. He's going up against someone who's representing the movie The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Yaya, Greek grandma, ranked 32 out of 34. And she gets Ash Williams' chainsaw arm.
Oh.
Honestly, I don't think she can lift the chainsaw.
I don't think she can lift it. Yeah. I don't think she has it in her. I think Indy is way too resourceful. If there was one person chainsaw, there were 2 people chainsaw arm wouldn't work for. That's Yaya and Little Bear. And sorry, Yaya.
Yeah. I think
maybe if she got a railgun.
He's a skilled fighter for a reason, because our franchise man of the year, Indiana Jones, he moves on.
And we're burning through some good weapons here.
I know. Spoilers. No firearms got drawn in round 1, except for cotton candy gun and railgun. But I mean, like, no real life guns.
The 4 brothers.
No guns in round 1. It's all like top or bottom. So
interesting.
This is the way the wheel spins. I don't bust the deal.
We broke the deal, man.
Spin the wheel. I only spin the wheel. Trust me, I was having a hard time when I was doing this. I was like, no, I don't want that to get used first. 11th matchup. Our biggest dipshit of the year, Bullet, ranked the 21st best fighter, is going up against the big Nazi from Raiders of the Lost Ark. And Bullet is going to get an Indiana Jones weapon. He gets a stick of dynamite.
I mean,
which is kind of interesting, actually. I think toe to toe, big Nazi takes him, but I don't know, man.
If you throw dynamite at that, you could throw dynamite at anybody. Dynamite might even work against Jack Frost. Like, we don't know. That's pretty OP.
Which is another shitty thing, because like there's a lot of weapons that are like fire heat related that are getting burned, pun intended, in the first round. I think the weapon might help out this one. As much as I hate to see
think it does. The big Nazi is definitely, I thought was a guy that could really carry his way through this tournament. But I mean, stick of dynamite. There's no human that can survive a stick of dynamite thrown at them. Yeah.
So the big Nazi, despite being 6'5", 275 pounds, he's no match for dynamite. That is an upset thanks to the weapon. Bullet moves on. He survives. He moves on in the CINEDOME. Nick, our next matchup is a great one, the interesting one, because we have Short Round, who is from Temple of Doom. He is ranked the 10th best fighter. Him and Indy, only 2 humans to break into the top 10. So Indiana Jones 9, Short Round 10, strong, skilled fighters. He's going up against our queen, Alex Forrest, who is ranked 30th of best fighters, which means Alex Forrest, she gets the Nazca Indiana Jones weapon, Nazca Graveyard Guard Blow Dart. I think Short Round takes it.
I got to take Short Round on this one. Yeah, I don't think she can hit him. He's way too crafty. He's shifty. She struggled with that 2v1 in the bathroom. She had to jump on the wife 2v1
with a knife.
She struggled in the apartment. The reload time on those darts.
So I'll tell you what, Nick. I would take Daredevil versus Chewbacca rather than a Short Round versus Chewbacca in the first round, because that would just be heartbreaking.
That would suck.
That would suck.
I mean, we lose out on Daredevil, who could go toe to toe with just about anybody.
But you know what? At least we have Bullseye out there representing Daredevil. But our next matchup, 13th matchup, we have Hawk, who is that big ass guy from Dial of Destiny, right behind Short Round at number 11. He's going up against drunk, abusive Arnold, who beat up on his child and his wife. Here's the kicker, Nick. This is going to be weird. Arnold,
did he get Arnold's fists?
No. Arnold.
Did anybody get Arnold's fist?
Not yet. So Arnold gets the bombing knocker from Furiosa. How does he utilize this?
Drunk.
This is a weird one. It's a weird one because
drunk driving Bobby knocker.
Because the bombing knocker is like an attachment to a truck. So it's like, is he in the war rig? Is that just one big unit? And then
it'd have to be, right? It's the only way the bombing knocker works.
It's really like I've always said it's like a defensive weapon. So you kind of like lure someone into the trap and then drag them into that thing. It's kind of hard to use offensively. So Arnold versus Big Hawk. Like, how the hell is this unfolding?
With the bombing knocker, I go Arnold.
You think he pulls it out?
I think he does. The bombing knocker's got to be a top 3 weapon on this list.
It is.
I mean, that's
it is. I just don't know how
Arnold.
I don't know how it works, but yeah, you know what?
You have to be on the war rig.
I think the ranking of the bombing knocker, and it is in the Carnage level, so it is in that tier of Electro Ripper Staff. The railgun, it's up there. So Arnold lucks out and moves on.
It's all luck. There's nothing about Arnold that moves him on this one.
Nick, this next matchup was another heartbreaker for me because I really like both of these characters and what they represented. Because we have the top dog of street level fighters, king of the streets, Bobby Mercer, ranked 16th.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he's the underdog in this situation, and he has to go up against Elektra, who is ranked 6th.
Yeah.
Elektra is tough. Elektra's superhuman status, according to us. Bobby Mercer is top of the street level. Discrepancy of 10 rankings, a 16th versus a 6th. Lucky for Bobby Mercer, he gets to have a weapon in this situation. You put a weapon in that man's hands, it is carnage. Unless that weapon is the pants from the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants, because that's what the wheel drew for Bobby Mercer. So the pants really just, they kind of lead you to where you need to be. So I'm imagining he could probably fit into them because he's part of
he'd look great.
If only it was the 4 brothers hood of the traveling Detroit overalls.
Man, maybe if only Bobby Mercer got a good weapon, man. But unfortunately, I think Elektra just absolutely he'll look good. He'll look good as he dies. But
sucks so bad. Like that's one that was like, should I redo this? But I can't. I can't bust the deal. So I spun the wheel.
Yeah.
Elektra.
That's unfortunate for Bobby Mercer.
Sucks. Bobby gets fucking fucked on that one. Elektra moves on. Nick, coming up on our last 2 matchups, we have our worst ranked fighter of a 16-year-old Nicole Kidman, Judy.
Oh no,
she's going up against Leonard Parker, Bill Cosby, ranked 26. Not a strong fighter.
Oh, she is in danger.
And Judy gets Indiana's whip.
Get it? Because Bill Cosby and a 16-year-old girl. Anyway.
So Judy gets Indiana Jones's whip in this situation. This is the one where I said it looks really bad based on the spectacle at hand. Because you have a little white girl.
Yeah.
With a whip against
Bill Cosby.
I think Bill
Cosby has proven he wins this matchup.
Judy, she was resourceful for what she did, but honestly, she was going up against a couple of dopes in BMX Bandits. So Leonard Parker, Bill Cosby, secret agent, unfortunately retired, moves on. Nick, we have, I think no, because we had a 3-4, but we have another neck and neck matchup here, but they are technically separated by tiers.
Oh, okay. Is it our top punching bag versus our worst street brawler?
That is exactly what we have, Nick, because representing the best of the punching bags, we have the Flying Monkey from The Wizard of Oz.
Ooh.
Going up against our lowest rated street level fighter of Mutt Williams at 27.
Oh.
You know what the Flying Monkey gets?
What's our Flying Monkey get?
He gets Electra's size. So he has daggers.
Monkey.
He flies around with daggers.
Monkey. We know Mutt swung with the monkeys, but like just straight up.
He didn't
fly with the monkeys. And when the monkeys flying with some size, flying and sighing, that flying monkey takes Mutt down.
That is amazing. I didn't even put 2 and 2 together. You can swing with them, but you can't fly, big dog.
With them.
Can't fly.
Dude, imagine those flying monkeys with size, dude. That's a whole different ball game.
Flying size. Yeah. No, that'd be deadly.
Yeah.
All right, Nick. Well, now this is all live because I randomized round 1. We are moving into round 2. So now I'm firing off the wheel and I'm firing off weapons. So
Battered Fried coming at you live.
It's the Corn Dog. We have 18 fighters. Jack Frost and the It Follows entity are in the mix now.
Oh, no.
They're in the mix now. So
I'm not sure our weapon that could take them down. I wonder if the cotton candy gun could have taken down the It Follows demon.
Or Jack Frost.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Which changes matter. Yeah, a lot of wasted. Yeah, but that's the wheel.
Little bear.
That's the wheel. That's the wheel. All right, so round 2 is going to be 18 fighters. We have the 1 and 2 seed joining the mix. So we're going to have 9 winners. We're going to have 9 weapons used, and then we'll have 9 weapons left after this round. I'm going to spin the wheel of names. The first guy entering the CINEDOME is our beloved little short round. 10th best ranked fighter, short round. Okay, so
come on,
we're moving you from the wheel. So who's up next? Who's coming in against short round? Wheel spinning. It is Landon. No!
Yes.
Chewbacca.
Oh, sorry, the short round.
Well, hold on.
Get a weapon.
He gets a weapon. God damn it. I said that. All right. Out of our remaining weapons, short round, the little engine that...
What do we got?
So short round is a martial artist's master. He uses fists of fury.
Yeah.
But what if he used fists of abusiveness? Because he just drew Arnold's fists. Does it make him angrier?
Chewbacca's feelings. It hurt Chewbacca's feelings a lot. Especially because we know Chewbacca doesn't have a family.
God,
so if he had if he had the fists of a father coming down, he'd be very sad. But I don't think short round with Arnold's
Chewbacca,
angry domestic violent father fists.
Short round is literally short. Where the fuck is he on my sheet? He's right next. 4 foot, 80 pounds, 12 years old, against a 190-year-old Chewbacca. if he had the rail gun, if he had the cotton candy gun,
any gun would have given him a shot. Not
literally,
Arnold's fist though.
But oh man, unfortunately,
Short round with Arnold's fist. What a sight.
Chewie moves on. Holy shit. Okay, short round, you're out. That sucks. Moving on. Entering the CINEDOME next is our wild card Bullseye. Bullseye enters.
Baby.
He is the 5th best fighter of 2024 for Just Play It, and he's going to go up against another brawler of Sandwich Guy, ranked 20th.
No. Sandwich Guy's going to need...
He's going to need something big. Let's see what he can draw from the wheel of weapons that are left on the board. Our first firearm, Nick, our best firearm, because it's the Romancing the Stone shotgun that can hold 11 rounds. So
if it was like a pistol, I would have said Bullseye can and has evaded gunfire before. But being able to rip off 11 straight shots back to back and knowing that Sandwich Guy is pretty unhinged and will rip those shots off consecutively and probably has shot multiple shotguns and killed a few men in his life. Oh, man. James, Sandwich Guy might have it in the close quarters with that shotgun. And I don't think Bullseye has anything to throw. So
yeah, Bullseye, like he was a brawler in Daredevil, and he took on Daredevil. But I mean,
oh yeah,
if you're in the CINEDOME, just a popcorn bucket cage and close quarters, and someone's handed a shotgun, I think you got to give it to the man with the gun, Sandwich Guy.
Yeah,
holy shit, pulls it out. He's lucky.
Miracle
he didn't
run
get the
for
pants.
Sandwich Guy.
He's lucky. He didn't
Miracle
get pants,
run
man.
for Sandwich Guy. Hey, I wouldn't want to see a trucker in girls' pants, dude. That might be even scarier.
Our next fighter is good. Oh, God. Okay. The Buzzsaw, Jack Frost.
Oh, no. Dude, give me the entity.
Number
give me
one.
The entity. Give
God
me the entity.
level. Please, for the love of God, give me the It Follows entity. Number 2. Because whoever he goes up against is getting a weapon. Oh, this is on brand. Because we have someone who is no stranger to fighting evil. It's Ash Williams, the 15th ranked best fighter. Ash, what do you got? Please be a fire-based weapon. Please be a fire-based. We're running out of them. We're running out of them.
What did Ash
So we
Williams
have
get?
representing the movie Bullets, we have poison heroin.
Oh,
now,
shit.
Is there some sort of chemical compound where heroin doesn't play nice with water?
Can Jack Frost overdose? He doesn't really have organs.
But he does. He has like beating organs on his inside. Remember?
Oh, he does. I don't think we know enough about the Jack Frost properties.
Put it into Chat GPT. Like, does heroin have a negative effect on, or like, does it something with water? Can it beat water? Please, for the love of God, I need to know if
I'm going to ask you a question.
Can poison
Do you
heroin?
know the horror movie Jack Frost? Yes, Jack Frost is a cult classic horror comedy, yada, yada, yada. Can that Jack Frost overdose on drugs? It's thinking Jack Frost from the horror movie isn't bound by normal human limitations. However, in the campy and absurd tone of the movie, you could imagine a humorous or bizarre scenario where he overdoses in a way unique to a snowman. For example, perhaps exposure to too much antifreeze salt or heat could overload him. If you're exploring the idea of a fun or creative project, I'll help you brainstorm fitting scenarios. Since his physiology is entirely different from that of a human, he wouldn't react to drugs in a typical way or at all.
Hold on. I said, is there salt in heroin? And the main answer is heroin in the East Coast United States is most commonly found in the hydrochloride salt form, requiring just water and no heat to dissolve. So, kind of an interesting chemical compound going up against big old Jack.
I just don't think Jack Frost loses this one, man. It's an unfortunate. And Ash Williams, if there was a guy who was resourceful enough to do it with the right weapon, it would have been Ash Williams.
He just got he drew a real shitty weapon. It could have been anything else.
If I'm Ash, I just do the heroin myself and I die a happy man.
Deadite or not, Ash dies. Okay.
I'm gonna ask ChatGPT. Can that Jack Frost be killed by poisonous heroin? In Jack Frost's movie, the character is supernatural. While heroin is a dangerous and deadly drug to humans, it wouldn't be effective on Jack Frost in the traditional sense. The character is shown to be susceptible to things like heat, antifreeze, and salt. In short, while heroin wouldn't typically be able to kill Jack Frost, there are other elements like heat, chemicals, or antifreeze that could destroy him in more believable.
They're really hung up on the antifreeze. TikTok wasted it on the clown. Damn it.
Fucking A, TikTok. TikTok with antifreeze, I think, could have taken Jack Frost, by the way.
Yeah, but too bad antifreeze is out. And Arnold is in. Arnold, he might be our lowest ranked survivor.
Without his fists.
Yeah, and if you ever drew your weapon from your movie, you did get a damage multiplier. But unfortunately, Short Round burned those on Chewie, and it did not work. But Arnold, ranked 29th, he's going up against probably someone that's going to whoop his ass. So let's see who it is.
I hope so. Fuck Arnold.
Oh!
Oh, no.
We got a 29 versus 28. Flying Monkey comes back in.
Oh.
Going toe-to-toe with his neighbors. Okay, so Flying Monkey.
Oh, does Flying Monkey get a weapon?
Oh, no. Arnold gets a weapon.
Oh, that's right. Oh, Arnold gets a weapon?
So,
shit.
So let's see. I mean,
if it's a gun.
Before I even look at the weapon, Nick, Flying Monkey does represent a childlike stature, and that is Arnold's specialty of beating up on his child. Okay, fuck. I thought this would maybe be a good one to take down Jack Frost, but Arnold is blessed with a weapon that represents the movie Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He gets the wrong grail, very similar to poison heroin. So he gets to.
I mean, whoever has the wrong grail wins.
How does he utilize this? Just say, "Hey, monkey, come get this water."
Yeah, I don't think the monkey's very smart. Man, Arnold is just absolutely.
Arnold's lucking out.
Yeah, he is. That's Arnold. So I want to ask ChatGPT, what if that Jack Frost drank from the Grail in Indiana Jones? If Jack Frost drank from the Holy Grail, it could lead to very interesting and surreal outcome, considering the nature of both the Grail and Jack Frost. Here are a few fun possibilities. Jack Frost might gain immortality. Since he already can't be killed by normal means like bullets or stabbing, this could make him even more difficult to defeat. He could potentially roam the world unaging and nearly unstoppable unless someone managed to prevent him from leaving the Grail sanctum. ChatGPT is pretty impressive. Freezing power amplified. The Grail's magical properties could enhance his ice and snow-based powers, allowing him to go stronger or more resilient.
But it's the wrong Grail.
A bizarre twist. Jack Frost's icy snow-based form might react oddly with the Grail's power. Perhaps instead of more immortality, the Grail could cause him to become trapped in an eternal frozen state, neither dead nor alive. He becoming a living ice statue that is unable to move or interact with the world anymore, forever stuck between life and death. Holy fuck, ChatGPT.
Yeah, so that's one I thought that could maybe take down Jack Frost. So that sucks.
We're running out of weapons.
Arnold, you fucked it up for everybody.
That's what Arnold does.
Coming into the popcorn bucket of doom, we have that antifreeze wielding 19th ranked TikTok, and he is going to be fighting. Oh God. Okay. Well, this is interesting. He's going up against the number 2 most overpowered fighter of 2024, the Entity from It Follows.
Oh boy.
So we have a 19th versus a 2 ranking. Let's see what old TikTok draws from the old weapons wheel. He is going to get, representing Leonard Part 6, he gets the rabid rainbow trout.
Now,
again, he's a robot.
This matchup implies that TikTok has had sex with someone.
And that's what I was talking about when we were talking about the best fighter. I don't think you knew what I was doing. I don't think you knew I was going to do this. And you said, "Oh yeah, entity, easy, best fighter." And I had questions like, "Well, does he have to be targeting someone that had sex, or is he just using his strength to take on a 1v1 challenge arbitrarily?" So,
I don't think TikTok can have sex, or can he?
With the trout?
How would the trout react in that pool that the entity was in? I don't think it could take down the entity.
Entity can't be taken down.
I think the entity could dismantle TikTok, unfortunately, or at least deactivate him.
Yeah, TikTok, if only you were an all-powerful god, but you are just made of parts, and I think the entity, unfortunately, takes this one.
I do, too. How would a fight between... I'm just ChatGPTing now. TikTok from Return to Oz versus the entity from It Follows. Go. A fight between TikTok from Return to Oz and the entity from It Follows would be an intense and physiologically unnerving battle. Each opponent having vastly different abilities. It goes through their strengths and weaknesses, how the fight could go. Oh man, this is giving me a whole paragraph. Conclusion. In a straight-up battle, TikTok might be able to fend off the entity temporarily due to his physical durability and strength, but given the entity's relentless nature and his ability to follow TikTok no matter where he goes, the fight would likely turn in the entity's favor over time. If TikTok runs out of wind, which is inevitable in a prolonged fight, that's right, he does run out of battery.
You know what this is? You know what this is like? This is like referring to New York when they say, we can't make a decision on the field. We need New York to chime in.
Yeah.
That's
a really good point.
Secaucus.
TikTok does need to be wound up. And so the entity, I think, just outlasts him.
Okay, ChatGPT is on to something. Honestly, it's backing up our case. I forgot
about TikTok's need to be
wound. That is a major. Rewound. That's why he was 19th. You know, he was pretty low because he had a major disadvantage. Nick, we have number 9. Best fighter, Indiana Jones, round 2. Our guy, the hunkiest Hollywood hunk hottie of 2024. Could possibly wipe the floor with Leonard Parker, who is ranked 26th. Bill Cosby. So, Bill, you're outmatched here. Let's see what you got. Now, granted, Bill Cosby uses a lot of weird things as weapons very effectively, so he might be able to utilize one of the worst ranked weapons we have chosen on this podcast, and that would be the BMX bicycle from BMX Bandits.
Ooh.
So he made ballerina shoes very lethal against bird people. However, Brawler Indy versus Bill Cosby on a bike.
I'm drawn back to our Indiana Jones Raiders scene where he runs up against the guy with the swords with all the razzle dazzle, and Indy pulls out his gun and shoots him. I know Indy doesn't have his gun, but he does not care for the
straight shooter.
He's a straight shooter. So I think Leonard on a bike gets fucked. And I think this is Indy every step of the way. No need to ask ChatGPT about that one.
Leonard Parker, you were a very underwhelming secret agent. Indiana Jones, you are a super awesome archaeologist. Which is going to bring us into the sack grabber from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, ranked 23rd out of everybody. He is going to get thrown into the popcorn bucket of death against, yikes, Furiosa, who is a hardcore survivalist from the wasteland. 14th.
See the weapon from Sack Grabber here.
14th Sack Grabber. I hope it's a mitten that can grab nuts. Otherwise, you might be a little bit fucked. No. Fuck. This was another weapon that could have brought down Jack Frost because it is fire-based. It is the flaming shish kebab from Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom.
Now, that's a great weapon. I don't think it works against Furiosa. The other issue with this matchup is Furiosa doesn't have a ball sack. So
as soon as you started that sentence, I knew exactly where that was going.
I don't think the nut grabber has a testicle to stand on here.
Literally doesn't have anything to grab onto.
He has one move. and that is grabbing sack. So he could do a cooter grab, but I don't think that's going to work out well. I think Furiosa.
Who is he? Jack Frost with a carrot?
Who is he? Leonard? So I don't think. Yeah, I think this is Furiosa every day of the week.
I have to agree. I have to agree.
He had a chance with a weapon, but the shish kebab just was not going to do it for him.
Unfortunately not. Let's see if Jack T. Colton, who is 17, very middleman on our list. Let's see if he can do something. I think he might. No, there's one that's ranked above him, but he's going to be punching down because he's going up against a heroin addict of Bullet. And Bullet is going to go ahead and get blessed with a weapon. With the Wheel of Fate, it's landing on. Yikes. Not looking good for Bullet because he gets a little tiny miniature little bear bow and arrow.
I was waiting for that one to show up. Little bear's bow and arrow. Now let's think. So Jack T. Colton so let's throw the bow and arrow out because it doesn't matter.
It's
honestly, Bullet
like
might try and use it. Might try to use it to inject some
as a needle. Yeah, it'd kind of be self-inflicted. Yeah, pretty bad.
So brawl between Bullet and Jack T. Colton. That's an interesting.
Bullet's very Sam Quinty. Just kind of takes a lot of hits. Not necessarily a skilled fighter. Jack T. Colton was good with the shotgun. He did have some guns on him. He was living off the grid in Colombia, so he is hardened from the rainforest, whereas Bullet is hardened from prison. And listening to Barry White.
The Barry White does play a factor.
But Jack T. Colton was a crazy bird man. He did have birds.
Yeah, I think we got to give it to Jack T. Colton, mostly because I want to see Bullet out of this fucking tournament.
Bullet, you were a disappointment in the biggest piece of shit bracket. You were a disappointment to your family. You were a disappointment to us as a movie. And Jack T. Colton dethrones you in the CINEDOME, which leaves a very imbalanced last matchup of round 2. We have 6th ranked Elektra going up against the other punching bag. If only it was Sam Quint versus Bullet, but it's Sam Quint versus Elektra. And Sam Quint, number 25 out of 30. He gotta get something good. Oh no, he's gonna try and have sex with Elektra because sex is his weapon. Now he did have sex with Linda Hamilton.
He has some moves.
Better Riz than the biggest piece of shit.
I don't think he has a deadly STD. Maybe he does, though.
I think if he tries to lay a finger on Elektra sexually, she is breaking off that finger and shoving it up where the sun don't shine. And she can also see the future. Yeah.
This is an easy Elektra.
Wipes the floor with
If only somebody got sex against Jack Frost, maybe we could have had a chance.
Oh, man.
Or against It Follows entity. What if you had sex with the demon?
That's what I was hoping for. This is a 1 in 32 shot, dude. Actually bigger because they has to land on the matchup. My goodness. Okay.
Is the demon allowed to masturbate?
Not sure, but what I do know is in round 3, we have 9 fighters left. And round 3 is going to be it's going to get weird here, Nick. And I'll show you why. So we're going to have some matchups here. Let's see who we got. We have 9 weapons left on the wheel. And our remaining fighters, as a recap for round 3, we have Chewbacca, Sandwich Guy, Jack Frost, Arnold, The Entity, Indiana Jones, Furiosa, Jack T. Colton, and Elektra. Let's go ahead and enter round 3 of the CINEDOME. Coming up to the stage first, who do we got? It is the man, the snowman, the myth, the legend, Jack Frost, rated number 1. He is going to go up against some poor soul, and that poor soul is going to be... Okay. Mr. Luck himself, Arnold from Smoke Signals. Big yikes. Arnold, you better pull us. I really don't think there's anything that can take down this son of a bitch. Out of all of these, maybe another one, but this one might have a chance. God damn it. It's the ruby red slippers from Return to Oz.
Oh, Arnold.
We did say that you kind of have to be a magic wielder to use this because the Gnome King is kind of wizard-ish. Dorothy is like you theorize in Wizard of Oz, like an alternate version of the Wicked Witch. So he does have connections to, he's very spiritual. And believes in Native American folklore.
Brother, I think that, a magic wish granting pair of slippers, if he could fit his fat feet into them.
It's not the sister of the traveling pants, but I think if his life fucking depended on it, he could squeeze those chubby, alcoholic, swollen feet into those ruby red slippers made for a 16-year-old girl. Although the Gnome King could do it.
I think Arnold's taking down Jack Frost. This man has beat his way through his family and is beating his way through this bracket, dude. That's Arnold.
Am absolutely fucking shocked. I'm shocked. Nick. Arnold. So here's the thing. The tier list is very it's not biased. It's very fair. It's factual. You're in the CINEDOME, bitch. Anything can happen. Because Arnold, the abusive drunk father, takes out the mutant snowman of Jack Frost.
Just moving on. This guy is
lucky. And let's see if that's the same for our next matchup here. Because Nick, we have number 14, best fighter.
The entity's really happy about that.
Furiosa. Oh, the entity is rubbing their hands together. Furiosa, 14, going up against ranked 20th Sandwich Guy, another guy who's had luck on his side. Both deal with trucks, both deal with highway life. One is in reality, one's in the wasteland. Nick, Sandwich Guy.
Sandwich Guy better be on his knees praying for a miracle on this weapon right now.
There's a lot of guns left, but okay, RIP Sandwich Guy, because he gets the Minutemen football.
I'm sure he could have hucked it over the mountains like Uncle Rico back in the day.
Again, if this was in Bullseye's hands, he can make any throwable object lethal. But however, it lands in Sandwich Guy's hands. He goes to Furiosa. We know he can fight. He probably knows how to shoot a gun. Can he throw a 6 spiral? Unconfirmed. Our next matchup here is some heavy hitters. Okay. Our lucky bastard, genderless, number 2, the entity. He is entering the CINEDOME next, and he or she or they are going up against superhuman, superhero, 6th best fighter, Elektra. Elektra's the underdog. First time she's been outclassed. So let's see. Can she draw something that can do anything against this thing? Okay. There was one thing I thought they could maybe do it. And it didn't land on that because she lands on the New Jack City Uzi. So here's one thing. I'm not saying Elektra's going to come out of this alive, but I think we do need a countdown. So I think if you put something down and it can't get up in more than 10 seconds, like a boxing, just like when someone's unconscious, you give them the 10 count. And it's like, we got to move on. So I thought maybe like if the Wizard of Oz house got dropped on the entity, it's like, okay, we don't have all day to wait for you to get up out of that house. But
at the same time, can you just evade the It Follows demon? Because
you're stuck in that popcorn dome forever. You're stuck in it. We need a winner, and we know it is very resistant to gunfire.
I think that's a good conversation to have, but not in this case. I don't think.
Throw it in ChatGPT just to be safe. Throw it in ChatGPT. What's ChatGPT got to say about Elektra versus It Follows entity? For insurance.
Can Elektra with an Uzi beat the entity from It Follows? Fight between Elektra from Marvel Comics armed with an Uzi and the entity from It Follows would be an intense and high-stakes battle with unique dynamics. Let's break it down. We got origin, strengths, weaknesses, how the fight could go. It's still typing. Outcome. Despite Elektra's impressive combat skills and firepower, she would likely be unable to defeat the entity in a permanent way. While her Uzi could provide temporary delays or distractions, it would not stop the entity, which is bound by supernatural rules that can't be broken by mere bullets. The entity's strength lies in its persistence, and unless Elektra finds a way to pass the curse or trick the entity into following someone else, which could be incredibly difficult, the entity would ultimately win by continuing its pursuit until Elektra succumbs. Elektra with an Uzi might hold her own for a while, using her skills to delay the entity or avoid it temporarily. However, the entity's relentless nature and inability to be stopped by physical weapons would ultimately make it the victor.
Hey, Victor.
ChatGPT is wild. That is so specific.
It totally broke it all down. Yeah.
It makes me worried. It makes me worried
Frost
to
versus the Grail. Where it's like it'll be stuck between life and death. You're like, oh, that's dark as fuck, dude.
It makes me scared to check the receipts on Arnold with magic slippers versus Jack Frost. But they've already snapped the football. We've already
just for fun.
Yeah, just ask. We're already here.
Can Arnold from the movie Smoke Signals beat Jack Frost from the 1997 horror movie if he had the magic ruby slippers from Wizard
Return? Has to be Return. You already were this specific. You have to be more specific.
From Return to Oz.
I will be blown away if it gives you a coherent answer.
A battle between Arnold from Smoke Signals, 1998, armed with the magic ruby slippers from Return to Oz, and Jack Frost from the 1997 horror comedy Jack Frost would certainly be an interesting and unusual scenario. Let's break it down. It's breaking it down, how the fight could go. A lot of stuff. Let's get to the outcome. If Arnold can figure out how to use the slippers effectively to escape and outsmart Jack Frost, he might manage to trap Jack Frost in a vulnerable position, such as a place with high heat or antifreeze. Alternatively, if Arnold is overwhelmed by Jack Frost's
so hung up
attack,
on antifreeze
or fails to use the slipper properly. Conclusion: Arnold, while not physically capable of fighting Jack Frost head on, could potentially win by using the magic ruby red slippers strategically to evade, outsmart, and trap Jack Frost. The battle would depend largely on Arnold's ability to understand and use the slippers' powers quickly enough to exploit Jack's weaknesses. This is pretty fucking detailed, dude. While Arnold's no fighter, the ruby slippers are a potential game-changing tool. If he can outwit Jack Frost, he could use the slippers to transport Jack Frost to a place where the snowman is vulnerable to heat or antifreeze, potentially trapping him in a location where he could melt. The slippers give Arnold the ability to escape or shift the battlefield to his advantage.
Okay, I don't know what I'm more impressed with, our accuracy or ChatGPT drawing that up and agreeing with us.
All right, moving on. Next battle.
Okay, so Nick, this was a top 9 situation. So the last battle is actually a 1v1v1. There's 3 people. There's 3 people.
The dome.
3 in the dome, and even more wild than that, since it is an oddball matchup. I got a little special something for you. Before I get there,
I'm ready.
Our 3 fighters. We have definitely 2 beloved, maybe 3, because we have Chewbacca, number 3.
Yes.
Up against Indiana Jones, number 9. Another George Lucas brainchild character. Going up against Jack T. Colton. Mexican standoff. Yeah, right. Exactly. So, Nick, here is the kicker. With an oddball matchup. Underclass do not necessarily get granted the weapon. They have to. This is Thunderdome style. So it's
the weapon gets dropped in the middle.
It's popped up. Yeah, it gets popped up from the ground. It's hanging by a string from the cage. It's I don't know. It's out there. So it's anybody's game, and anybody can go get it. And this part 2 of this wild card shit show, we're bringing in 2 weapons. 2 weapons are on the table. 2 weapons are on the table. First weapon, representing Cimarron.
You're a madman.
Yancey's 6 shooters are in the CINEDOME, up for grabs for Chewbacca, for Indiana Jones, for Jack T. Colton. All very proficient with a firearm. And the second weapon entering the mix is the Fatal Attraction kitchen knife. Nick, 2 weapons dangling. Who's going for what? Who can get what first? Who's smart enough to grab what weapon? Who knows each other's enemies? Who's playing 3D chess?
I think being 7'6" is just too much for the other two to handle.
The wingspan.
As resourceful as I know Indy is, we've seen Chewie wear some bullets before. I mean, you better hope that your 6 can take him down because he is angry. He goes into aggro mode. I don't think any of the weapons listed.
Do you think Chewie goes for a weapon, or does he just bum rush one of those guys, and then does he go for the strongest guy? And then
I think Chewie goes, takes Indy's arms off, just rips him by his limbs, and then he takes Jack T. Colton and does a Hulk versus Loki move of just wham, wham. I don't see any of those weapons being able to take down.
They don't even come into play.
Chewbacca. Nah.
Oh
I
my
don't think
god!
There's even a chance to get to the weapons.
Oh my god!
I don't think a 19 or an 1896 shooter. I don't think you could empty all 6 of those bullets. I don't think you're taking Chewie down. I think Chewie wins this one hands down.
Chewie representing the top tier fighters. Okay, so Nick, we're entering round 4 here, and we have 4 people left, and we have 4 weapons left.
Okay.
So we're going back to just underclass guy, underdog gets the weapon, and our remaining fighters. Our remaining fighters are 3 seed Chewbacca, the 2 seed the Entity, 14 Furiosa, and 29 lucky bastard drunk Arnold is hanging on by a fucking
this
thread.
Son of a bitch.
Well, coming in strong for Final 4, we have the Entity, and god damn it, I think there's one weapon on here that can maybe slow it down, but let's see who he's going up against.
I think we have one person who might be able to put it on him.
Is that Furiosa?
So it is, James, because the Furiosa we saw in the movie Furiosa was a virgin.
Almost wasn't due to Rictus Erectus, but she evaded that.
She did.
Now,
Furiosa,
Nick,
we know in the movie Furiosa. Now, we don't know if her and Max in Mad Max Fury Road ever got it on, but that's not what we're talking about here.
Praetorian Jack. But, Nick, here was the question. Does the Entity target the people that have sex in its chain of violence, or does it understand the assignment and he's in the CINEDOME? And he has to fight, he knows that.
I think we talked about this in the episode where it is bound by its rules. And its rules are it cannot kill Furiosa.
Does it help if Furiosa also has Bobby Mercer's Colt 70 strapped?
Absolutely. Yeah,
okay.
It can't hurt.
Furiosa is moving on to the final round.
I think the Entity gives up. What happens if its opponent hasn't had sex?
Just fucks off.
That was the one caveat there. So our top 2 overpowered are out of this tournament. Thanks to Furiosa and Arnold.
Thank God. And Arnold,
he's got Chewie.
You know, he really liked his way into this one, but he's going up against Chewbacca. Let's see if there might be one thing on here that can help out this poor guy.
He deserves his limbs ripped off.
And it landed on it because it is the falling house from the Wizard of Oz.
Son of a bitch, Arnold. I think he wins. Arnold wins.
I can't believe this, dude. I literally can't believe this. I can't
Coming
believe this.
from a movie with little violence, where the only violence is where he used his fist to beat his family, to the finals.
The come up is so real.
The best fighter bracket. He dropped a house on Chewbacca, and he moves on to the finals against Furiosa.
Oh my God, that sucks.
Oh my God. Okay.
For the final battle of the CINEDOME Fighter Tournament, Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat, Tournament of Champions, we have 14th seed, Relentless Survivor Wasteland Warrior Furiosa going up against an abusive drunk father, Gary Farmer, playing Arnold Joseph.
Who's your favorite Indian?
From the movie Smoke Signals, who is 5 removed from the worst fighters ranked on our tier list. And Nick, for the final round, same as the Mexican standoff, we have 2 weapons left. They are both available for these fighters. Here's the thing. The 2 weapons left, Lenny's Beretta from Memento and the Black Moon car. Now, Furiosa, highly proficient in vehicle manslaughter. This could be the end of Arnold's luck. Does Furiosa go for the gun or go for, I feel like no matter what she goes for.
Yeah. I mean,
Arnold might be too drunk to drive the car.
But that's more dangerous. Just Arnold in the Thunderdome, just
whipping it.
Both of these are available. They're both sitting in the middle. Arnold is scared. He doesn't know what to do. He runs up to the first thing he can grab, even if it's a gun. I think his hands are too shaky to even shoot it at Furiosa. I think Furiosa wins this, but holy shit, did Arnold
what a run, my guy.
What a Cinderella run.
My guy, dude. You took out Jack Frost, you took out Chewbacca. You're representing the punching bags of the tier list. And you go up against a skilled fighter in the end. You couldn't finish it off, but my God, what a ride. I think Furiosa.
You'd finally make Victor proud.
If she allowed Arnold to go for the firearm, I think she just hops in the Black Moon, hits the NOS, and just runs over him, just like Tommy Lee Jones did to the character of Ryland in Black Man Rising. Furiosa is the tourney champion, best fighter, scrapper, warrior.
Good for Furiosa, man.
Let's fucking go. Oh my God. Furiosa wins. Okay. Nick, our main things are done. Our awards are done. Our brackets are done. Our tournament of champions are done. This has been a hell of a rap party.
What an episode.
My God, this is what I was looking forward to the entire year. This is just such a fun ride, such a fun conversation. When we're talking about movies, reviewing them, we do get very philosophical. We get very angry. We get very annoyed. We share laughs. We just share frustrations. This is a celebration of the entire year's work that we just get to come together, have a mashup, just metaverse style conversation. It's amazing. And honestly, I like biggest piece of shit bracket, the fighter tourney, revealing our awards. I don't think I can really write it any better than that. So
yeah, Arnold versus Furiosa as best fighter. You can't make it up, dude.
Who saw that coming?
You can't make it up.
So I just want to say, extend my gratitude and appreciate you and just say thanks for being here with me and talking this out.
I wouldn't rather be anywhere else. I wouldn't be anywhere. I don't want to be anywhere.
You want to be
here.
here.
To say that. I love it here.
Nick is off that corn dog sauce, and there's only one thing left to do on the year for 2024. Just play it. Year 2, season 2. It's to spin that wheel of franchises to see what will be our Northern Star for 2025. Nick, same movie franchises as last time. We have Terminator, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, Predator, Alien, Jurassic Park, Planet of the Apes, The Matrix, Back to the Future, and Die Hard. Are you ready?
James, let's bust a deal. And for one last time in 2024,
and spin the wheel. Come pie. Dude.
James, I think we landed on your favorite franchise of all time. Am I right?
If Fast and Furious stopped at 5, then that would be incorrect. But Nick, I got to tell you this. I kind of envisioned this. I didn't think No, I did. I was like, I think we're going to land on this answer. It's a quintessential trilogy. It is iconic. It is from the 80s, just like 2 movies from this year that dealt with this topic. Nick, we are going back in time, tell Huey Lewis and the news, because the franchise of 2025 is Back to the Future. Holy shit. I can't believe it. Let's fucking go.
I couldn't have imagined a more exciting outcome to this, buddy. I'm happy for you. I know you are a big Back to the Future fan. I obviously love it. It's a staple. It is great. I cannot wait to get into it with you in the new year. My goodness, man.
Nick?
I'll tell you what, everything's just coming up JPI
Nick?
these days.
This has been manifesting all year. I'll tell you what. Last Christmas, maybe it was the Christmas before, I don't know. But I bought the Lego set for the DeLorean.
The DeLorean.
Now,
Yes.
if you've had a keen eye, and I haven't finished it, but if you've had a keen eye, this unfinished Lego DeLorean has been hanging out in the background on my desk. And it must have been manifesting the wheel of destiny, because we are going back to 1985 to the future. And I'll tell you what, Nick, when we start re-recording in January and we watch Back to the Future, this will be done and it'll be on my desk. You mark my words.
I can't wait.
You mark my words. And ladies and gentlemen, that is it. That's it for Just Play It 2024. It is a wrap on the Wrap Party. We salute you, Kernels, Corndogs. Thank you so much for joining the ride. Please remember to follow us on Instagram and YouTube at Just Play It Podcast. We are on X at Just Play It Pod. We're heading gone for the year 2024, and we'll see you in 2025. And we're going to just keep watching movies, whether we know it or if we don't. And if we come across a good title like Black Moon Rising, or just an absolute shit show like Bullet or Leonard Part 6, you better bet your bottom popcorn bucket dollar that we're going to just play it.